original spot, and one's going right here.
Go for the midnight dares. Go for the game. Go for the hits. Go for the fans. Go for the win. Go to Ocean Casino Resort. Book your trip at theoceanac.com.
Friday, yes, welcome on in, everybody. Feels good just saying that word, doesn't it? We are
Friday.
Sports Take. Yeah, man, Friday. It's therapeutic. We are Sports Take, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network. Gunner with the fresh lid. That's Derek Gunn. He is
like
Barrett
that.
Brooks. I am Rob Ellis. Yeah, look, you promised us your fashion show would continue.
Oh yeah,
with your Cabela lids. It looks good, man.
I got to get back to Cabela's before they run out again. Last time they ran out was like 6 months before they got a new stock in. So I got to get back to Cabela's. You know, when
you're in a different setting today. What's going on? Where are we? What's the deal?
I'm in my wife's office today, and
it looks a lot more feminine in there. You know, less.
I know.
Yeah,
I know, man.
No fish or any of your other craziness that you have going on.
Well, see, because we kept the 11-month-old granddaughter overnight, well, she may need her afternoon nap, so she needs to be in a dark room. So I got kicked out of my room and into my wife's office. You know, you guys got to see her on the pre-show meeting and stuff, and she is the easiest baby on the planet.
Yeah, she's a cutie.
To take care of. But she
I
knows.
I can't believe she's your spawn, man.
What? What? I'm a good looking guy.
No, she's so nice, and she has the prettiest smile.
She does.
And it pains me to say. It pains me to say. She kind of looks like you too.
Don't blow his head up, Barrett.
No, seriously, man. you got to make it. I mean, I hate to do that, but you know, she's a looker. You know what I'm saying? She got beautiful eyes, but she kind of favors Derek, and I hate it.
Oh,
she's
again,
like the perfect mix. She's the perfect mix of him, and because your daughter looks like you.
Yeah, she did. No, she looks. My oldest daughter looks like my wife, but she has my skin color.
Yeah. So you know this. It pains me, man. It pains me.
And here's what struck me. You said she wasn't even one yet. She was an easygoing baby, man.
Oh my goodness.
She was chill.
You like the show I put on? She waved for you. She danced.
She was dancing. She was doing a little high five move. Yeah, man. Just talent. You'll be her agent someday. Pretty soon.
I hope I'm around long enough to see that happen.
Yeah, right. I hear that. Hey, you want to say hi to everybody? John, what's up? Kyle.
Yeah.
Jeremiah, what's going on, fellas? Good to see everybody in the chat section. Glad you're hanging out with us. Smash the like button, tell a friend. That's for sure. We got a big show today, guys. So we have Mark Jackson, the Sixers pre and post game analyst for NBC Sports Philadelphia. He's going to join us coming up at 1:00. We'll talk with them. We'll get into the Sixers in 1 second, but everything the Sixers. Well, I say everything. The move that the Sixers made last night. We'll get into that in a second. Ben Davis is going to join us from San Diego at 2:00. I don't know, man. I don't know how you figured the Phillies out, but they go out there last night and they take down maybe the guys who are pitching the best baseball. He might be the best starting pitcher in baseball this year. They take him down, and Suarez deals. I don't know. They're an easy team to figure out.
There's something in the water. I'm telling you right now. This team will make you drink Maalox. If you are a diehard Phillies fan, they will have you drinking bottles of Maalox daily because you can't figure them out. When you expect them to lose, they win. When you expect them to win, they lose.
Yeah.
This team will drive you nuts the entire season. But like I said, time and time again, if they can't make significant moves, this is what we're going to deal with the entire season. And is it good enough to get to the postseason?
Yep.
Well, you know, you gotta combat the Padres, the Dodgers, the Giants, the Brewers, the Cardinals, the Mets, the Braves. And there's not enough room for everybody. It's like that old Wild Wild West saying this town ain't big enough for all of us. I'm telling you, man.
Well, you know, it's just like with boxing. You know, you got a fighter's chance, you got a hitter's chance. Well, that's what they are. They've got a hitter's chance because talent eventually is going to rise, and everybody's going to get on the same page eventually, man. And at this point, you got to take the good with the bad, and I think they just have more good than they have bad. The bullpen will take care of itself, man. Once we get Sir Anthony, Sir, once we get Sir Anthony as our bona fide closer,
I agree with that.
and then we, handle.
Sir Anthony's the guy.
Yeah,
That's
but
what I'm saying.
getting to
Handle
the
you.
closer. But getting to the closer in a lot of cases is the problem.
That is the problem.
That's a huge problem.
But we can't have everything right, man. Like,
I know.
Howie Roseman is making us spoiled because this guy is taking he's put somebody in every single position of need.
Yeah.
And that's almost unheard of.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
So we're kind of spoiled in how we're looking at things.
Yes.
You know, I mean, we're going to talk about the Sixers today. You know, I think they've got a bona fide two-way player. We're not going to say he's going to blow everything out of the water, but we now have a bona fide two-way player. We got rid of a $10 million hit in the contract.
Injured player who probably wasn't going to play for you this year. Yeah,
exactly. Right. And then, you have, you're not worried about that draft pick having to be accelerated into being able to play now to help this team and win now. So, they're doing it right. The Flyers go out and get their coach. Somebody's going to be hard-nosed with them, and I don't care about what, later on when they start losing the grit. I mean, because I understand that. I lost the grit when it came to Ray Rhodes,
Yeah.
After a while, guys tuned out Ray Rhodes, when you got the stories about, wives and kids and, shears and wipe your butt and throw it on the couch, all that type of stuff.
What?
What? Huh?
Yeah.
What just happened?
I mean, that's what, that's Ray Rhodes.
We apologize for the comments that were just
Enjoy your
made.
lunch, everybody.
We want to remind you that this is a family program.
So
and
Ray,
we are
I
under
knew
regulations of the
about.
FCC.
Hold up, I knew he would go like breaking into the house and doing things to everybody, but he would also do that too. He would go Amber Heard on you. Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Oh man, that's nasty, man.
Yes.
Oh my God, man.
My goodness.
And after a while, it became kind of mute to guys. It was like, all right, here we go again.
Yeah, I got to imagine after like the fifth one of those, you're like, all right, what doomsday scenario is he presenting now?
Oh my goodness.
Exactly. So eventually you get used to it, and it becomes like, all right, here we go again. And that may be the case with the Flyers, but at least get us going in the right direction. Get these young guys going. Provorovs, those guys. Get those the Carter Harts. Get them going in the right direction, and then we'll have somebody take over and take us to the promised land.
Gotcha.
I mean, there's hope in all three of all four of the big four in our city right now. There's hope for everybody right now.
All right, well, good. Look, so we're going to do that. We're going to dive into Eagles MVPs on both sides of the ball on offense and defense, who we think it's going to be by the end of the season. We will get into that as well. Look, we got a lot in store for you, but well, let's start with the Sixers. So,
it's not the time to start the Sixers just yet. We're gonna get on those guys.
Whoa!
I'm still talking about what's going on this weekend, man.
Oh, this weekend.
Yeah. I'm calling. I'm asking for you guys' help, man. I got to put these sheds together this weekend.
All right, so tell us what's going on. So you're putting together two sheds at the same time, next to each other.
No, they're not going to be next to each other. They're going to be in two different places.
Opposite sides of your yard, basically.
Yeah, but I got to level everything out. I got to make sure the bases are level and all that stuff.
Oh, no.
Dude, that's a lot of work, man.
I know, but I need you guys' help.
Is your ground level?
No, I got to make it level.
Oh, see, I would help you, man, but I got this injury that.
Do you see this? See that cut I have on my hand?
I got this injury, man. That
it's a sore. I need a rest.
I have a boo-boo on my elbow.
I have one on my hand.
Bad? Right. Yeah. Look at you too. But you know what's bad, right?
What?
The mere fact that I got the sheds in and they delivered the sheds. They delivered the sheds and they're in two boxes that are
boxes.
Both sheds is two boxes. One box is 8 by about 3. That's how big the boxes are, about 12 inches deep. A whole entire shed that's 10 by 8 is in a box that's 8 by like 3. And then another shed that's 8 by 8. And it's the same thing. It's about the same size box, but it's only an 8 by 8 shed. So
it's from IKEA?
No, that's from Walmart.
Walmart.
So how do you get a big shed like that in a small box like that? That means there's going to be so many.
The only thing I can guarantee, Barrett, is when I finish, there would be an entire bag of screws that was left.
See, that's the problem. That's the problem.
Where did these go?
Nuts, bolts, and screws
100%.
everywhere.
Yes. And then you'd step foot in it and it would like sway one way or the other. You're like, that's probably not great.
But
it's not good for you guys to
no. You get a strong wind, Barrett, and that bad boy is going, man. Okay.
Here's the worst part. when you lay out your tools, you're going to use a tool, and you get to a strategic point where you got to hold two pieces in place, and you get ready to put it together, and you look around, and the screwdriver or the drill is not where you laid it.
It's too far away. Yes.
And you sit there going, where'd I put it? And you're looking around. It takes you 20 minutes to find this, and you realize, dummy, it's right here behind you. You miss it. And then on top of that, Rob's right, man, because if you put it together, you stand back and the wind pick up, you see this bad boy start doing this. That's right. I'm just going to take a sledgehammer, just bring it all down. I'm sorry. And then call Obama and say, hey, look, this thing was dented when you sent it to me. I need a new one.
Well, you know what's even worse than that?
What?
That I'm going to have two grown-ass kids in the house going to be looking at me from the window.
Well, why can't you get them to help you?
Yep.
I'm going to try to get them to help me.
What do you mean try?
They'll do something stupid, and well, Dad, and I'll just get pissed off. Get away from me. Get away.
You know what they'll do, Barrett? They'll sit there while you're working next to you doing this.
Right. And I'll just get so irritated.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And then you kick them out. That's the move. They do that on purpose.
And then when you're at your most frustrated, they'll say, Dad, are you grilling out today?
Right.
Yeah. What's
grilling out?
What are you making us for dinner? Excuse me.
Get out of the house. Get out.
Right.
What am I making you for dinner?
Yeah,
what are you doing? Okay.
Right.
I know.
That's
Dude,
exactly.
Barrett, I would be in a panic, in a cold sweat if I was in any way, shape, or form had to take on that kind of project, man. Forget it.
I mean, that part of it to me is easy. I mean, I enjoy that. That stuff is easy to me, putting it together and doing all that stuff. But
It's a lot of time, though.
But also, I got to deal with this. It just so happens, that my grandson and my niece is here, and my nephew is here. So while I'm trying to put this thing together, sweating and getting frustrated, Papa, watch me do a flip or
they're just torturing you. They're torturing you from the pool while you're sweating.
Yes.
Yeah,
they want me to watch him do everything.
Yes, that's like my 3-year-old grandson. You're trying to get something done. What? Look, and he might have his finger up his nose or something.
Yep.
He's like, yeah, that's great, Cruz. Good job, Cruz. Keep going. Keep going, buddy.
Pick a winner, Cruz. Yep.
But see, you see these bookshelves behind me? See if I can show them.
Yeah, we can see them. We see them.
Okay, you see the bookshelf? 96 inches long and 100 and something inches high. So there are 1, 2, 3 shelves combined. So my wife, Becky, they had brown bookshelves before. She didn't like them, so she wanted white. And I'm like, why do you want white with glass, especially with glass? Because if you do anything here with those little ring lights, you get a glare. So the middle section only is glass. So the spring we got them at IKEA. I had them shipped here, and when they get here, I know what's going to happen. They give you these instructions with pictures on them,
and they don't give you enough, right?
No.
Right. They don't give you enough instructions.
No,
right.
So I start this thing.
They give you 3 instructions. I need like 43. Yeah.
Yes. They give you steps like 1 through 40 something.
Yeah.
But they're all grainy pictures.
Out. Yeah, I start checking out. Yeah.
And then you look at the screw size, and I always separate the screws, the bolts, everything by size, just so I know what I'm looking at. And then I get to a point, and I'm like, okay, somebody's gonna die today, And so all I do is call my son-in-law, Alex. Yeah, Alex. Call Alex. Alex come down now. Alex is like tool time when it comes to building stuff, like shelves and stuff. Man, he took over and I helped him. I just held stuff while he's screwing stuff. He's looking at the instructions, and I'm like,
"This is them again. This is New Jersey again."
Are you serious?
All right, do your thing, man. Go do your thing.
Hey, man, don't curse at him. Whatever you do.
Right. Hop off. Do your thing. All right.
Yeah, man, but my son-in-law.
No, take B off for a minute while he does his thing. I hear you.
Look, they hung up on him. If he starts talking real fast, he's cursing.
There you go. All right. Well, I'm with you, man. Like like the fact that his 2 projects this weekend are putting together 2 sheds. Dude, first of all, and I rarely ever advocate for this, but like if I'm thinking about a new shed.
Yes.
I'm having one delivered.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I'll pay the delivery.
Same.
Fee.
I don't want that aggravation. I'm telling you, Derek. I don't need it, man. Like deliver it in the yard, take the old one, and okay, we're done.
Now
transaction.
You see John Dickerson's asked me what kind of shelves are these behind me. You see how he wrote them? Man, I don't speak Swedish. I don't know. I have no idea. What is that? I have no idea. Is that even a word?
I don't know, man. You got me.
I have to look at receipts.
I'm way out of my league with that. Let me tell you.
All I know is my man Alex, he came down here. Zit it.
Yeah, they know what they're doing.
Dude, I'm telling you, Rob, if I had done this, you'd have one shelf going this way, one shelf like this.
No,
now, I'm usually decent at this kind of stuff, but I get annoyed after a while.
Yeah, you do. You really have to have patience. The other thing is if you did it yourself, that thing would be falling down on you during the show at some point. We don't need that. John says they're IKEA products.
Yes, John, they are IKEA. But in terms of the name that you asked me about, brother, I couldn't tell you if you put a chest full of $1 million bills in front of me. I couldn't tell you what name brand it is. My wife picked all this stuff out. All I had to do is have it shipped and put it together.
Oh,
and I'm done with this mess, man. Oh yeah, man. There's never a dull moment in my house, Rob. I told you this, man.
Oh man, I hear you. All right, so let's Barrett's trying to figure out his legal wranglings. Let's figure out what the Sixers did. So here's the thing, Derek. I actually like this move. So what ends up happening is there was a lot of stuff flying around last night prior to the draft. That they were going to make a move to try and get Eric Gordon. They were looking to shop Thibault in the process, and 23, et cetera, the 23rd pick which they had.
Right.
So they end up, the way it shakes out, it's Danny Green. It's the guy that they drafted, Roddy, who ends up going 23rd overall. And they trade them to Memphis to get DeAnthony Melton, who, look, Derek, in playing 22 minutes, which isn't a ton last year, averaged almost 11 points per game.
Right.
4.5 rebounds, assist 2.7, but shot at 37 from 3, 44 from 2. He's a 6'2", 200-pound good defender with a really long wingspan who plays a pretty scrappy, game. To me, I'm looking at bench help check. I'm looking at a little scoring off the bench check, a guy who could play the 1 and the 2 off the bench check, and some toughness. For, I don't know what 23 is going to time last year didn't even sniff the court.
Right.
And Danny Green wasn't going to play for you. And you made up $1.5 million.
Absolutely.
I'm good with this. I like this trade.
Yeah, as we discussed this in terms yesterday, did we think they were going to make a splash or just an okay move? And this falls in the category of an okay move, but it fits the bill of it gives you something on both ends. I kept saying you need to try to find players that can help you on both ends, not just one-dimensional players. And this kid can help you into both ends. I don't know if he's of a PJ Tucker, Draymond Green type scrapper, but it does help you in defense, which this team sorely lacked last season with some defensive help. He's not going to be a Seth Curry. He's not going to light it up from outside, but he plays that scrappy Memphis Grizzlies type basketball, man, on both ends of the court. Yeah. He's not afraid to take it to the hoop. He'll take his jump shots. He's not afraid to get in people's jerseys on defense. Hopefully this is just the first of many moves. I shouldn't say many, but the first of a few moves to come. But as I said yesterday, when you look at the current structure of the Sixers team, they don't have a lot of wiggle room, and I didn't expect them to make a splash last night. Some teams made a splash. I didn't expect the Sixers to fall in that category because how cash-strapped they are, especially with Peg Leg Harden still under the financial umbrella.
Oh man, so I do have to touch on this.
Don't do it, Rob. Don't depress me today. Don't do it.
So Daryl Morey, which is bizarre. I mean, it was late because the pick was late because the draft takes forever. But he meets with the media last night, and at one point he's asked about is it going to be a quick resolution with Harden? Basically, I'm paraphrasing, and he says, well, I can't really talk about it, but from what you've heard and read, you understand it's a mutual love fest between us and him.
Oh, jeez.
So I hear that, and look, I already knew it was a love fest. There's no shock there, but I'm just thinking, like, how is that helping your negotiations with this guy when you're publicly saying it's a love fest between the two parties? Unless you already have a deal in place, which they probably do.
They probably do.
Nod.
Yes.
But there's no doubt he's going to opt in, and they're going to extend this guy for crazy money.
James Harden.
This is a horrible mistake, Derek.
Yes, James Harden is going to be here until he got one leg on that scooter. When you tear the Achilles, he's going to be here till his mid-40s, man. As long as Daryl Morey has any say in this. I don't know why you're putting that kind of money into James Harden. I would let him ride out this opt-in year, and then if it surprises you in some way, shape, or form, okay, then I'm sitting down next year and trying to get him back, because obviously they have not just a friendship but a relationship that goes far beyond dollars and cents. And I believe James Harden would try to play here at all costs beyond next season if he likes the overall makeup of the team, where the team may go. If they got past the second round, maybe got to the third round, and James Harden could see some promise with this team, I do believe, okay, then you sit down, you give him that contract, and we just sit here and stomach it. But to already talk about giving him an extension beyond the opt-in, I'm sick. I'm sick right now, Rob. I'm just like, why? We don't even know what the guy's going to do. Please do not give him this contract before this season starts. Let's see what he does first. Yeah. He's getting $47 million of your money anyway. So you're not like you're paying him chump change.
I think, Derek, he is so caught up in 7, 8, 9, 10 years ago. And, you know, what he did then. And look, he's trying to get a Gordon here. I mean, there's a lot of sort of longing for the old days with Daryl Morey here, it feels like. And again, like if you're getting Eric Gordon for not much, I can live with that. I'm fine. He can provide a service that they need, you know, in terms of scoring and shooting and all that. But like, you know, enough already with this trying to run it back with the Rockets that didn't win a championship, by the way, from 7, 8 years ago. I just it's frustrating, man. But it was an interesting night too. So Derek, also before all of this starts, and we'll get more into Melton in a second. I don't want to just blow past that, but the other thing that comes out after we get off the air yesterday, can we say, are we on the air? Is it air or off the stream? I'm used to our TV and radio days. I guess it's off the air.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Anyway, you would know better than I would.
I'm going to say off the air for our purposes.
Okay.
So the Kyrie Irving story comes out. Shams, and I think Shams had it first, Shams Charania from The Athletic, and then Woj picked up on it. So basically the gist of it is, you know, he's at an impasse with the Knicks, and he's put a list of teams together that he would deem worthy of going to. And one of them was the Sixers. Coincidentally, by the way, it's almost all big market teams. It's the Sixers, Knicks, Lakers, Clippers, Miami, Dallas, you know, whatever. And
none of them have cap space to sign him.
Not one of them.
Yeah.
So there's a conspiracy out there that some of the things the Knicks started doing last night.
You mean the Nets?
No, Knicks.
Oh, the Knicks. Okay.
Is either Knicks started moving some salaries and dumping some things or whatever. And part of that is either they're trying to make a run at Kyrie or they're trying to make a run at Jalen Brunson. Now, Jalen Brunson makes sense because he's a free agent.
Yes.
And his dad is the assistant coach there now. They hired him from Camden High School. Rick Brunson, who former NBA player, played at Temple. I actually went to school with him at Temple.
Did you really?
When I was at Temple, Derek, it was Aaron McKee, Eddie Jones, and Rick Brunson we were all in class at the same time.
That's a heck of a nucleus.
Isn't that crazy? So anyway, there's that. I don't want to get too far off the beaten path, but that's a theory. The Sixers don't have anywhere near the kind of funds to be able to pull this off.
No.
And the other thing is, it looks like if Kyrie really wants to go to one of these teams, he's going to have to take a mid-level exception salary.
Which he won't.
You see him doing that?
No, absolutely not. I think his ego is too big to allow that to happen.
I agree.
And plus, that's money lost he'll never recoup if he did that.
But just like this past year when he, bleeped away $17 million or whatever it was.
Yes, because he couldn't play home games.
Yes,
because of the COVID restrictions that New York had implemented. Whoever his advisor is, if you advise him to even think about something like that, you need to be fired on the spot. He's still, whether you like him or not, he's still one of the marquee talents in the league. He's still one of the best guards in the league. And even though he's a pain in the butt, I want him happy. I want him to be on board with everything that we're doing. I don't want him being disgruntled. I don't want him pulling some of the antics he pulled with the Nets. If we decided to pick him up, I want him to be Kyrie to the fullest. But in order for that to happen, you got to free up an awful lot of money to make that happen. And I don't know of a team out there that's capable of doing that right now, unless it's one of those bottom feeder teams that that are just playing with minor league players. But he's not going there at this stage of his career. He wants to go to a potential winner.
I mean, he's such a wild card that you never say never with him. Like, you can't lock anything in with him. Like, everything you just laid out makes sense. But Kyrie can be a nonsensical kind of guy. So it's going to be interesting what happens. I mean, I still think the Sixers are aggressively trying to move Harris. Easier said than done. I think they're aggressively trying to move him. I think there's going to be a lot more coming. Like, I view this as step one, Derek. The Melton move of a bunch of things that are coming down the line here.
But if
this is only the beginning.
If you move Tobias, see, my concern is: are you going to get value for him? Are you going to take lesser for him? If you take lesser for him, then you're behind the 8 ball. You got to get something of equal value for Tobias. And I'm not saying he's a great player, but he's a good player.
Right.
He will give you some defense. He will give you 20 points. Yeah. What happened? Potential jailbird.
We all right? What's going on?
Oh, but I was going to talk about the moves. We don't need to get rid of Tobias now. I mean,
right.
Having a two-way player like that, we now have somebody to go out and play defense. Somebody we don't have to take off the court. Lead Tobias in the situation he's at. Now we have a stretch forward who played pretty decent defense in the playoffs.
Right.
And I don't think that he's going to disappear like he did during the season. I think now he's going to, he's filling his role on this team and understands that, all right, I got to shoot more because my point guard is not going to shoot as much as he needs to, even though he was a prolific scorer in Houston. But I think he's going to take that role and really, step into that role of being a better player. So I think they're better now going into the playoffs. And I think they're a lot better as far as, what they bring to the team now with, Tobias being here. I mean, do you guys really think he needs to go?
I think they want to get rid of that salary simply because Barrett, I mean, you talk about 71, I think it might be more than that. It is more. Yeah. 71 million, about 71 million that he's going to make over the last 2 years of this.
Yeah.
I think they want to try and free that up. Like, I think they want to try to bring in Tucker. I think they want to try and get.
Can they bring in Tucker
now? No, not now. They can't. Not yet. They don't. They're not. They're cap strapped. They're still pretty cap. They only made up about whatever the rookie would have gotten at 23 and about $1.5 million off of Danny Green. They still have some cap.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So
right.
I think the Tobias thing, I agree. Like Derek made the point of, you better be careful if you get rid of him because you are losing 18 points and 9 rebounds. And a guy who actually defended last year much better than he had earlier in his career. However, I think they view it like if we want to get Gordon in here and we want to get Tucker in here, I mean, Gordon's going to cost you close to 20. Tucker's going to cost you close to 10. There's 30 right there. Then you're still going to have to move like a Korkmaz or somebody like that. Like if he really wants to swing big, he has a lot of moves coming. Like this was one step.
Right.
And we were talking about when you hopped off, Barry. I really like Melton. I think it's a good move. But
why? I mean, I know he's a two-way
he's a bench guy. Like he's like not going to.
Okay, all right. There it is, right there. Yeah.
Well, think about this. If he gives you last year in 22 minutes, he gave you 10 points. He was a good rebounder for Memphis too. He gave you almost 5 rebounds. He could play either guard spot. He's a really good corner 3 shooter. He shot it really well from the corner last year. Did Melton? He's solid. Like he's not making an all-star team, and he's not buying his jersey. But I'm just telling you, like he's a guy off the bench that you can count on, and on a bench that you can't count on much.
Right.
I mean, you never know what you're getting for some of those guys. So
he's better than Korkmaz. He's better than.
Oh, definitely. Okay. Yeah, he's more consistent. The thing with Korkmaz is he'll give you 25, and then for 5 games he doesn't even show up. You don't know what you're getting.
I hate to be Debbie Downer, but I've said it before, and I'm going to say it again. I have a feeling this Sixers team is going to look similar to the team that we watched last season. I hate to say it, because if that is the case, because of cash strap, and you don't have a lot of what anybody else wants. You're not giving up Harden. He's in a love fest with Daryl Morey. You're not giving up the franchise in Joel Embiid. I think they don't want to give up Maxey because he's a young player who has endless potential. That's not a bad 3 nucleus to have.
Yeah.
If you give up Maxey, what are you going to get for him? I don't want to see Bradley Beal here. I don't want him here at all. I know you do, Barrett. I don't want Bradley Beal here. I'm sorry. I don't want to see him here. But then beyond that, what are you going to get for Maxey? Where are you going to go?
Yeah, I think you guys were right when saying that Maxey's almost untouchable. And, in talking to what's his name yesterday, he said that he's a better scorer than
Rich
No, he's not a better scorer than Beal.
Beal's a better shooter. Beal's a better shooter, but Maxey is
better creator.
Is more of a scorer.
Okay.
Yeah, off the dribble.
A creator.
Yep.
Okay.
I honestly think the Sixers need another guy between like 6'7", 6'8", 6'9", athletic.
Yeah, me too.
Yes.
Me too.
I don't
me
want
too.
to see any more guards.
I
I
agree.
think they have guards.
Yeah.
You need to find you a nice
A wing.
6'7", 6. Yes, thank you.
A wing
Somebody
player,
can
yes.
put it up. Somebody who can defend. Somebody who can rebound. That's who you need to find. Where are you going to find them now? What are you going to trade to get them?
No, look, it's easier said than done. I
Yes.
mean, this is where I keep getting back to this, guys. He's thought Daryl Morey is as high profile a GM as there is around the league. I mean, close to it, other than maybe like Pat Riley and a couple other guys. He's right there in the top 5. And he's never won a championship, but he gets a lot of love and a lot of accolades. Well, let's see it this summer, man. Let's see it. Because you got cap issues, you got a team that has a lot of needs. He better show out.
I think he will. I think that I really do think Tobias and you know, if you look at, I just don't see you getting just Tobias his number off, you know, without making the pot more sweeter, man.
Well, Thibault might get thrown in there.
Well, and even Thibault, you know, and he helps his cause with being, you know, a second team all defensive player. So I mean, there is a chance that they'll be able to move those two in a package, but to where, you know, who would need them? I mean,
so the reports were last night, guys, that they were trying to move Thibault, maybe Danny Green, or maybe 23 in a 3-team deal that would have included Houston, and I think they tried to include Portland in there. Portland only wanted to do a 1-1 deal for Thibault, and I guess Houston wasn't willing to pull the trigger. I don't know what Houston's plan is with Eric Gordon. There's no point of them having Eric Gordon. They're trying to rebuild with youth. He's an older player, and he's got a big ticket, so I would think he's going to be moved at some point, whether it's here or somewhere else. But yeah, I mean, and I started thinking more and more like, what's the matter?
I love Paul Mancini's comment. Should the 76ers and Knicks organization merge into one good team?
I didn't see that.
I love it. That's a great idea. It'll never happen, but that's a great idea.
That's funny.
Oh my goodness.
But no, I mean, I think, you know, the thought of giving Thibault up, who's making barely anything, for Gordon, who's making 20 at 34, feels a little off to me. But, you know, the thing is, I just don't really buy that Thibault's offensive game is going to develop enough. It's a shame because he's a phenomenal defensive talent, although he does get in foul trouble a lot. But I think he's going to be gone, Barrett. I think Thibault is going to be in some kind of deal as a sweetener, and he could be the sweetener in a Harris deal if they can unload Harris. I think it's going to be really hard to unload Harris.
I do too. I couldn't agree with you more. He's like I said, he's a good player.
Good. He's good.
He's not. You can't attach the word potentially great player. I think he is what he is. That is what he's going to be for the rest of his career until his game starts to decline as he gets older. And that's not a knock against him. He's a very serviceable player.
Yeah.
He can help you on both ends of the court. He can rebound. He can shoot. Now he's inconsistent. I mean, he scores 28 one night, he scored 12 the next night. But he has the potential to light it up, and he can shoot the three. Also, he can penetrate. He can shoot the three.
Well, how is Houston have anything to do with Gordon? I don't understand the trade possibility with Houston being in.
Yeah, I don't
in
either.
The Gordon deal.
Houston. Well, Gordon's on Houston.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's what you said, but at this point,
I'm saying
they're trying to rebuild. Also, that's why I don't.
No, right. My point was like if I was just thinking about it from a Sixers perspective, like if they're just trading away Thibault, who's cheap and young, and we know he's limited, but and bringing back Gordon, who's an older player for $20 million, it just didn't make sense. I'm not surprised.
Right. All right. Yeah. See, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
also,
but the Sixers were trying to do a 3-way with Houston and Portland and working in another team, and Thibault goes, and the Sixers get Gordon back, whatever. But he's got a lot of cap wrangling and maneuvering to do here to really improve this team, because they don't have much money right now to be able to play around. Like they couldn't sign Tucker, and they can't make a move right now for Gordon unless they lop off a lot of salary.
Yeah, but I think they're in rebuild mode. I think they're the same boat as Oklahoma, you know, as far as what they're trying to do too. They're trying to start
100%.
Houston worse than Oklahoma. Houston has to blow up the building, you know, the way they blew up the vet. Houston has to blow up that team and start from the bottom up. Just put some TNT around the whole roster and just blow it up and start over. That's what they need to do.
Well, so what we're gonna do is we'll jump into like going around the league too. We have a little bit later in the show. We'll also have Mark Jackson coming up at 1:00, and I'll give you some pretty good numbers on Melton that Derek Bodner, friend of the show, had, which I thought were really interesting on the way he shoots it from certain places on the floor. And the percentages are pretty impressive, man, in certain spots. I'll give you a little sample. So the last 2 years from the corner, Melton's shooting almost 49% from three.
What?
Wow.
That's a really high number, man.
Yeah, it is.
So, we'll get into that. And like I said, Mark's going to join us I'll just be curious where Mark stands with just how the roster looks right now and what they need to do to improve this team. So we'll dive into that. Again, 2:00, Ben Davis is going to join us from San Diego. Guys, we come back, Little Eagles, and I love doing this sort of look at because we're now a month and 2 days from camp, but who's counting? Not that I'm dying for Eagles training camp or anything, but we're going to do the offensive and defensive MVPs. And this is what we think it's going to be at the end of the year, okay? What it's going to look like at the end of the year on both sides of the ball, because we kicked this around a little bit in our pre-show meeting, and we had some very diverse, interesting answers on this. Right. Which I thought was fascinating.
I'm surprised.
Yeah, I was a little surprised. And you want to jump in on the comment section, we could do that as well. So don't go anywhere on this Friday. Sports Take, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network, Derek Gunn, Barrett Brooks, Rob Ellis. Hang in there. We'll be right back. All right, I want to tell you about my friends at Station Tap Catering in Drexel Hill. They will handle your next business function with ease while you focus on securing a new opportunity for your company. They got 50 years of experience in the food preparation business. Station Tap Catering will impress, and your guest will be impressed. I have been on both ends of this. I have been an impressed guest. I have been impressed having them cater an event at my house. The food is spectacular. I mean, across the board, it is good. The variety's awesome. The price is just right. This time of year, you got a graduation party, you got a birthday party, whatever, communion party, christening, whatever the case may be. You want Station Tap Catering to come out so you don't have to go through the aggravation of cooking and food prep and all that stuff that goes along with it. Also, if you have an event, a bigger event, you're not really sure, or just a family event, whatever, and you don't want to deal with the hassle of having it at your house, they have a great catering hall in Drexel Hill that is state of the art. They'll deliver prepackaged meals for you, individual packaged meals. If you have any kind of tailgate or anything like that, they're the best. So you can give them a call, 484-469-3222. That's 484-469-3222, or check out the menu and all they have to offer at stationtapcatering.com. That's stationtapcatering.com.
News at 11 with Rick Williams. It's the team you trust to bring it all together. The stories that impact your community, a sports roundup for the locals, and the AccuWeather forecast you depend on. Action News at 11 with Rick Williams.
All right, did you know I was the Mommy Slam Dunk Champion?
Really?
Yes, really, don't sound so surprised.
Let's see it.
Oh, you're ready. All right, here we go. Let's hear the crowd. So go to right, go to left, fake a mom. Mama, go up, up, up.
She did it.
Again? You can't avoid gravity, but United Healthcare can help you avoid financial surprises by helping you compare costs and doctor quality ratings. United Healthcare. Uh-huh.
field of life, First Trust Bank is there for you.
Champions on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Because Philadelphia dreams deserve a Philadelphia bank.
Go for the midnight dares. Go for the game. Go for the hits. Go for the fans. Go for the win. Go to Ocean Casino Resort. Book your trip at theoceanac.com.
All right, welcome back in, everybody. Rob Ellis, Derek Gunn, Barrett Brooks, Sports Take, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network. We see everybody. We see you, Joey B. We see you, Mr. Taz. We see everybody out there. We appreciate you hopping on in the comments section. Hit the like button. Tell a friend. That's for sure. Talked a lot of Sixers, NBA, Sheds, you name it. We talked it all in the first segment. We will turn our sights to the Eagles now as we await the start of the season. July 26th, they report to training camp. All right, so I was thinking about this today. And, it kind of sparked off of, I was thinking about the defense and just different things that we could kick around a little bit. And I'm thinking, all right, who's going to be the defensive MVP of this team? And then you start to go through the mental Rolodex here, and you're thinking, all right, very inspired Fletcher Cox, probably in his last year as an Eagle. If he wants to keep playing at a high number, you figure he's going to come out and play well. Javon Hargrave was like gangbusters the first 10 weeks and then quieted down a little bit after that last year. He was the team MVP defensively. I don't think any question first half of the year. So I'm thinking about him. I'm thinking about Darius Slay, who I think you'd probably argue is the overall defensive MVP last year for this team with the way that he played. So I'm thinking about him. And then I'm saying, all right, Brandon Graham's coming back. They added a Kaiser White. Could one of the rookies really step up? I mean, there's a lot of different directions you could take it. Guys, if we start on the defensive side of the ball, for you, I'm going to stay with Slay because I think now he's also got a partner in crime on the other side that can really help him. I think his safety play is better, not great, but it's better. And I think he's right at that peak age where the game is slowed down for him, yet he's still unbelievably athletic. He's right in that 30-31 range. I'm going to say Slay, and I think it's a critical position too, corner. Who would you guys go with defensively? Barrett, I'll give you first crack.
Both guys, I'm gonna tell you the truth, will be people that are 1-year deals. Well, they're the last year of the deal or 1-year deals that are interviewing for 31 other teams. And my defensive guy is Fletcher Cox. I think he comes back and plays like a ferocious dog, man, because number one, he fell slighted because they cut him. He's never been cut in his life. He's never been cut from a Pop Warner football team. He's always been the best player wherever he's been. He is now an afterthought. And I think this is really going to be one of those years where he turns the corner and becomes that dominant player like he did the year before his contract year where he got all that money, where he had almost 10 sacks. He had 9.5 sacks or something like that.
Right.
And I think this is what you're going to see from Fletcher Cox. He's going to go bananas this year because he feels like he was, done wrong. He's never been cut in his life.
Right.
And this is going to be that turning point for him where you're going to see, all right, you see how dominant I am? I'm going to go out there and ball out, become the MVP of this team and show, be like, I told you so.
Barrett, to pick up on that, I think there is that. And I'm saying this sincerely. I also think, he sees this. If he wants to keep getting paid handsomely for the next couple of years, you better ball out.
Exactly.
Because not only will it not happen here, you're going to get a cut rate deal somewhere else if you want to keep playing football, probably at half of what he's making now. So that's a real motivator too. There's the pride part that you're talking about, but there's also the financial aspect of this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's not going to get the big deal unless he goes out there and shows that he's worth that big ticket money.
Right. It's a great point. How about you, Derek?
You are wise beyond your years, Weed Hopper.
Weed Hopper.
I'm going to go with Hassan Reddick. I think he's going to put an infusion on a pass rush they haven't had in years. When you have a team that finished in the bottom of the barrel in terms of quarterback sacks and pressures, there's nowhere to go but up. And you went out and got one of the premier QB sackers in the game, a guy who had 23.5 over the last 2 seasons. if Jonathan Gannon unleashes him the way I'm hoping he does, I think this team will finish in the top 15 in QB sacks easily this year. Not just because of him, but because you're going to have to pay special attention to him, which is going to open up things for like Fletch, Hargrave, Brandon Graham, Sweat, Barnett, Kazir White, Nakobe Dean on pass rushing downs. I just think it's going to open things wide up in terms of how you're going to have to adjust your line calls and your protection, because Hassan Reddick brings a different level in terms of mindset of aggressiveness to this defense that has been lacking for quite some time. So if he had 23.5 last year, that's a little under an average of 12 a year. He should be able to get at least 11 in this defense this season.
Oh boy. All right. Well, look, if he's getting you 11, if he's being that look, that's about what he got the last couple of years. 23.5 over the last 2 years. I mean, right in that range. I just think, man, this team's going to be nasty if that's the case. If they're going to be getting that kind of pressure from one guy, considering bringing Brandon Graham back, what you're going to get from the interior of this defensive line, this team could take a huge step, massive steps, forward here. That's for sure.
I mean, think about it. If you line him up standing up behind Brandon Graham,
right?
Which guy's the tackle taking? Which means the running back's got to take the other guy.
Yeah.
So pick your poison.
I think he's a really interesting, fun toy that they're gonna be able to move around and do a lot of different things with it. Like, not only he's gonna be a fan favorite, guys, for a number. He's from the area, obviously.
Yep.
It's college football at Temple and all that kind of stuff. So he's gonna be beloved anyway. But
Right.
I'm telling you, there's nothing Eagles fans like more than somebody who gets to the quarterback. This dude is gonna be beloved. I'm telling you.
What schematically what he makes you do is I think Gannon is going to make him play him where he's going to be lined up against tight ends and running backs, because when you run that 50 front, when you put somebody head up over that center, like a Jordan Davis head up over the center, then you have one side you got Fletcher Cox, the other side you have what's his name,
Sweat.
Hargrave.
I'm sorry.
Hargrave.
I thought you were talking outside. Yeah, inside is Hargrave.
So on both of the guards, Cox and Hargrave on both of the guards, and then on the outside, on the opposite side, you have Brandon Graham, and then on the other side you have Hassan Reddick. As an offensive lineman, you're thinking when you run that type of defense that you have to block man on man. You have to go solid protection, which means the tackles take those two guys on the outside, guards take the guys on the guards, and the center has to block that guy in the middle.
Yep.
You're still, I'm putting my money on those guys making it happen. But when you look at it, they can slide to protection. So when they slide protection, they're not going to slide to protection going to Reddick. They're going to slide protection away from Reddick. They're going to go to the defensive lineman and Brandon Graham. So when they slide that protection that way, that means he's one-on-one against a running back or a tight end, or he's hot. So he's going to have the most opportunities of really getting that one-on-one against small, and that they did the exact same thing with Taylor. You know what I'm saying? When they had to change how the blocking schemes were when Lawrence Taylor was, the guy he was. Kind of the same type of deal with Hassan Reddick. You're gonna slide the protection and you got him one-on-one against a running back or a tight end. I'll take that all day and twice on Sunday, which is going to allow them to really schematically put him in better positions to rush the passer against non-offensive lineman type. And that's what's going to make him flourish as a pass rusher.
Yeah, look, there's a lot of different ways you could go on this, man. And between Fletcher and Hassan Reddick and Slay, that's a good thing, because that means there's some talent on this side of the ball when you really start thinking about it. I think Hargraves is going to have a monster year for them. I truly believe that. I think he's going to be aided by having better players around him, and he maybe won't run out of gas. What do you think happened last year with him, Barrett? Do you think he did just kind of hit a wall? Like, what was it? Because he was unbelievable early last year.
He hit a wall, and also I think teams saw how good he was playing in the first half of the season and started making, all right, we're picking our poison. We're going to block Fletcher Cox one-on-one. And that was a problem because I've never seen that happen, but teams were blocking Fletcher Cox one-on-one. That's a travesty. There's no way that he should be blocked one-on-one.
So I'm going to ask you this. I don't mean to cut you up, but I'm going to ask you this. Do you think there's a possibility that Fletcher is slowing down in his career?
I do think that's a possibility, but I think he's going to ramp it up just because he wants money. We know Fletch is about that dollar.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, and you have a conversation with Fletch, he's going to let you know it's about that dollar. And that's what he's played for. That's what he's facing right now. He's facing, you know, is either, you know, kill or be killed. If he doesn't make a great year this year, he won't get paid next year.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, you know, that's why I think he's gonna take it to another level. Teams started double teaming Hargraves instead of double teaming Fletcher Cox, and Fletcher Cox thought he was untouchable, so he continued to play. The way he was playing, and he didn't ramp it up. Hargrave did. He got noticed, and they started double teaming him. I've never seen him go through and block Fletcher Cox one-on-one. I couldn't believe it. I'm sitting there like, and I looked over at Seth, and I said, Seth, look at this, man. He said, what? They are blocking Fletcher Cox man on man, one-on-one. When was the last time you seen that? And that's exactly what you know, from that point on, he was like, man, he didn't shut it down, man. Fletch ain't got it anymore. Fletch don't want it anymore. Well, I think everybody that said that about Fletcher will turn it around this year because he's like, all right, you guys don't think I have it? Let me show you what I do have. And I'm gonna make 31 other teams take notice of what I can still do so you can pay me.
Will we see scenarios up front where Davis, Hargrave, and Fletcher are all on the field together?
I hope so. I sure hope so.
And how much?
That's going. I think that might be their base first down front because teams run the ball.
I can't wait to see that. Man.
You know what I'm saying?
I really can't wait to see.
You got 3 18-wheelers in the trenches.
Oh my God!
Right. But see, that's the crazy thing about it because when you have that type of interior, how do you run the ball against it? And like I said, running the ball on first down and their inefficiency to stop teams on first down really hurt them a lot, man. Because like I said, you know, before, you know, just think about this conceptually. And this is what I was trying to get people to understand. When you're on first down and your team sucks at first down, that means you're going 2nd and 6, 3rd and 2, as opposed to being 2nd and 10, 3rd and 10. They were having so much success on first down. That's a lot of the reason why they couldn't get anything accomplished on 3rd down because first down was such a bad down for that defense. He couldn't stop anybody. Couldn't stop the run.
You keep teams in 3rd and long. That's when you're
exactly.
Unleashing the hounds.
That's where Reddick's going to eat.
You got Reddick coming from one way. You got Dean coming from another way. You got Brandon coming. You got Sweat coming. You got penalty-prone Barnett coming. Oh, did I say that? I'm sorry. I let that slip out. My bad.
Look at this.
PF, personal foul. Barnett.
Personal foul, Barnett.
Yeah.
But what about if you put your NASCAR in? Now you have Sweat, BG, Fletcher Cox at the nose guard. Then you got so look at this. If you run a 50 front on NASCAR front when you're on 3rd down, now those interior 3 guys, you got Sweat, BG, and Fletcher Cox head up or Hargraves head up. You got Hassan Reddick on one side and maybe Barnett on the other side. That's all defensive ends with the exception of one tackle out on the field at one time. You got straight up speed on there from defensive end. So you got Hassan Reddick, a defensive end, Sweat, a defensive end, BG, a defensive end. Then you have Barnett, a defensive end. All these guys inside, and then you have Fletch right over the nose of the center, pressing them up the field. Man, that's a hard defense to stop, bro.
It's gonna be fun to watch, man. That's for sure. You know what we'll do? We'll put a pin in the in this discussion. We'll do the offensive MVP coming up around 1:30. We'll do that in a little bit because that's gonna be fascinating too to see which way that goes. So we'll do that coming up, but don't go anywhere because that Mark Jackson coming up, Sixers pre and post game analyst for NBC Sports Philadelphia. We'll dive back into the Sixers, what he thinks is going to happen here, bigger picture, the whole Harden thing, how he wants to see it play out, what he thinks is going to happen with Kyrie, what could potentially happen if Durant decides he's going to roll. There's a lot to do with the NBA. There's always drama, that's for sure. So Mark Jackson coming up. Don't move. We got Derek Gunn. We got Barrett Brooks. I am Rob Ellis. We are Sports Take, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network. All right. Look, you know, when it comes to finances, it can be a scary proposition. And I'm here to tell you because I was in the same position. I didn't know who to go with. And I went with Jim Murray with Principal Financial Group after, some discussions. And I could not be more thrilled to be working with Jim, to be trusting my hard-earned money and savings and finances with him. Whether it's retirement planning, 401k review, insurance review, if you have a small business and you're trying to set up the benefits for that, Jim can help you with that too. There's just so many different ways that he can assist you and guide you in the right direction, even if you don't have a deep understanding of how to invest. And I didn't. And he was really there to kind of walk me through everything and explain it in a way that I totally grasped. And it's been incredibly helpful. I used him for my IRA, the IRA that I started, my 401k rollover, and I couldn't be happier. Give him a call, 610-996-4751. That's 610-996-4751. That's Jim Murray, and you can email him at Murray, MURRAY.Jim @principal.com. That's Murray.Jim @principal.com.
Action News at 11 with Rick Williams. It's the team you trust to bring it all together. The stories that impact your community, a sports roundup for the locals, and the AccuWeather forecast you depend on. Action News at 11 with Rick Williams.
All right, did you know I was the mommy slam dunk champion?
Really?
Yes, really, don't sound so surprised.
Let's see it.
Oh, you're ready. All right, here we go. Let's hear the crowd. So go to right, go to left, fake 'em out. Mama, go up, up, up.
She did it.
Again? You can't avoid gravity, but United Healthcare can help you avoid financial surprises by helping you compare costs and doctor quality ratings. United Healthcare.
Uh-huh.
Field of life, First Trust Bank is there for you.
Champions on three. 1, 2, 3.
Because Philadelphia dreams deserve a Philadelphia bank.
Go for the midnight dares. Go for the game. Go for the hits. Go for the fans. Go for the win. Go to Ocean Casino Resort. Book your trip at theoceanac.com.
I'll provide the music, just in case. Welcome back in. Face Derek's making. Rob Ellis, Derek Gunn, Barrett, but you don't like my singing? Come on, Derek. You're muted, man. You can't mock me and make fun of my singing if you're still muted. Tone, we need to unmute D Gunn. He's all kinds of muted up.
That's Tone picking up Xander's slack. Antonio did that, man. I didn't do it, bro. Look, my mic, I didn't touch anything today. I did not have the D-gun gap.
Step away
today.
from the mic, Derek.
Yes.
Yes, I hear you.
Yes.
I hear you. All right,
I go check on my granddaughter. She's asleep now. So.
Okay, she's good. All right, she's asleep. All right,
for now.
Pop-Up will be taking a nap a little bit later, Derek, after 3 o'clock. But joining us right now, he does an amazing job covering the Sixers, analyzing the Sixers. He's always looking sharp, too, in studio, man, with some killer suits. There's no doubt about that. The one and only Mark Jackson. Mark, first off, man, welcome to the show. We appreciate it. Hey, give a little love to one of your Philly Five when you guys were coming out of high school. Rasheed Wallace getting a street named after him today. How about that, huh, Mark?
Yeah, that's pretty cool, man. It's good to see she getting a street named after him in his neighborhood, man. There's high school. You know, it's pretty cool that he's getting that opportunity. It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, and that was what a crew that was coming out, man, including Mark. But go ahead there.
Hey, Mark, I got to ask you this, man. What do you do with all your free time now that basketball's over for you? Inquiring minds have to know.
I have 3 sons, D-Gun. 3 sons.
All right.
16, 14, 11. So they're getting 90% of my time. And other than that, it's other time when I'm working out. So that's a great question. What am I doing now when I'm not working? I'm spending time with them. More time.
And I know the 16-year-old is a nasty player, man. He's playing at Rome, and he is an absolute. I'm sure the other 2 are studs too, but I know the oldest is getting it done already, Mark, at the old alma mater.
Yeah, he is. He's putting in work, man. And next year, my 8th grader will be there, so I have 2 of them there.
Can they take you out? Can the oldest one take you out yet?
If I get the ball first, no. If I get the ball first,
you still have the old man Pops moves that he doesn't. He still doesn't. You know what I mean? Every once in a while,
yeah. Bro. We did it.
Only thing is trying to stay in front of him. That's where it kind of hurts. Like, if you don't play, I get the ball first.
Yeah.
And okay.
Mark, I still remember the time we did something for I think it was the Boys and Girls Club down there by State Road, and I can remember I'm just fooling around playing with his son, so we're just shooting around and stuff. So I went over and tried to post him up, and he like pushed my hip and almost broke my hip, man. I said, you know what? I'm not playing with your son anymore, bro. Yeah. He like pushed my hip, man, and like went. Bro, I thought my back was about to break or something, man. So he's ready to roll, bro. He's ready to roll. Just so you know.
I appreciate it, brother. Yeah, he's blessed with to have that. It's funny. He's blessed to have like a God enormous amount of strength. Like it was funny when I played for the Hornets. Chris Paul, I was seeing Chris Paul, and on his birthday, Chris Paul and his wife bought him a jacket with rhinestones and nicknamed him Bam Bam. And because he used to hold big water bottles. You know how you hold the water bottles? He used to hold them by the bottom and just be like swinging it like this. And the water bottles, the baby's hand.
No.
Oh, man, I tell you, man, it's his son, man.
All right, Mark, we lost you for a sec. I think we got you back. I think you're back up now. Go ahead. All right, you're muted. There you go. All right, we got you. Talk about how strong your little guy was. Not so little guy now. Oh, you're still muted, Mark. You're still muted.
Still muted, bro.
Try now. All right, Xander. Let's. Mark. We'll put you on hold.
There you
we
go.
Got you. All right, now we're straight. Are we? No.
Yeah, I got you.
Are you here? You're not hearing us?
Yep. I'm here.
Okay, we're good. We're good now. All right, Mark. Well,
they're naturally strong, man, and now he's about 6'7", pushing 6'8", and his, he thrives on getting to the rim. So he does a very good job of getting to the rim, finishing around the basket, creating contact. They call him like a hybrid between a Scotty Barnes and a Draymond Green. So that's currently. Yeah.
That's good praise right there. Now I saw Tyreek Duran, who actually transferred out of Roman, but is a Philly kid, ends up going last night. He got dealt to Detroit, but good for him, man. It's good stuff there. So let's start with what the Sixers did, Mark. And people may not be totally familiar with the name DeAnthony Melton, but tell us what he brings to the table and what he's going to add to this team.
So I'm gonna give you a name to compare him, but less personality, not as much as a fiery personality, but similar skill set. Is Pat Bev?
Okay.
Pat Bev, very similar to Pat, but he's bigger. He's 6'2", but he has a 6'9" wingspan, so which means he can guard much bigger guys. But he's a dog on defense. He's a dog. He's averaging over 1.4 steals a game every season. And he also hit the three, 37% from three this year, 41% the previous year, and he can get some buckets. He was originally a point guard, so he's more so a combo guard. But when they moved him full time to shooting guard because of John Morant, and 24 minutes a game, he's averaging 10 points and almost 5 rebounds a game. So like that tells you where this kid's toughness is. So he gives you a little of everything. He gives you toughness. He gives you rebounding. He gives you some points. But he also, most importantly, he gives you that dog mentality.
And that checks a lot of boxes of what this team needs, Mark.
Yeah.
Go ahead, guys.
Yeah, Mark, convince me otherwise, because I'm sitting here today and I don't want to be Debbie Downer. But I think, as I said earlier in the show to these guys, I think we're going to see a team that's very similar to what we had this past season that frustrated a lot of people because of the cap restraints. I don't think they have enough capital to entice a number of teams to trade and make this team better. And I think we're going to be stuck with basically the same team, maybe another minor move here or there. But for the most part, we're looking at the same nucleus that we just got through watching.
You know, unfortunately, I don't have the disagreement before you. Because of the godforsaken thing of having cap, you know, like, you can't really go out and spend excess of money, which I understand the reasons being, is you have to manage your rosters better. So here's the thing. I'm hearing a lot of PJ Tucker. We need to make a move to release some cap space to bring in PJ Tucker. I'm hearing Aaron Gordon. We can't afford both. We can't.
Mm-hmm.
So it's either or. And now with the addition of Milton, I don't see how Gordon fits money wise. So I think they still can make some moves, like, you know, moving a future second and a bench guy to make the $10 million cap space for Tucker, as reasonably reported, 3 years, $30 million. If we get Tucker, we put Tucker in that starting lineup. We bring in Matisse, Milton, and George Niang, Bassie or Reed, and maybe one other person off that bench. That's not bad. It is a better team than previous year. But now here's the thing. We could only be speaking on the 76ers. We cover the 76ers. But every year, every team in the NBA is making themselves better. So, yes, we will be improved. We can somehow sign Tucker and slot him into that starting spot. We will be better. But a lot of other teams will be better too. But if you go back and look at this year's playoffs, to me, I don't know about you guys. It's the first time I've seen so many significant injuries with guys missing significant. Well, this guy's unavailable this game. Like, I never heard a player can miss a playoff game. Like, I've never heard that. And that went on both the West and the East Coast the entirety of the playoffs. So, meaning maybe it's about how the ball bounces when playoffs come, and maybe some luck bounces this way. Like, I'm about to say something. People gonna hate on me, but you look at Boston. They had a lot of luck on their side to reach the finals. They were good. They're going to be rusted, but every playoff series they never played against a healthy, 100% healthy team. So that's and they hasn't healthy themselves. Smart missed some games. Robert Williams missed some games. So that's what I'm talking about. So hopefully we can get lucky. Now let me make this long, but then you go back and what else can we do? I'm going to say a very unfavorable comment on a suggestion. If people really want something big, if Morey really want to do something big, who else can we move? People say, oh, we could trade Tobias' contract. And I look at it like this. Tobias is the fourth option on this team. That's a hell of a fourth option.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
But if people say, well, we need another outstanding player, another borderline all-star. Okay, you're not trading Tobias for a borderline all-star. But if you so hell-bent on getting an all-star, like Morey has made it clear in his post-season press conference, he's going to get another star. I'm about to say something very unfavorable. The only way you can get another star is to trade Tobias, but you got to package Maxey with him.
Oh, no, don't say that. No.
Only way in this Sixers lineup that you can get another star.
No.
You got to Tobias and make the money match. That's the only way.
Is he that untouchable though? Is he that untouchable? Because I'm saying this. I mean, I knew that they weren't trying to package in order to get that type of like. I'm a big fan of Beal, Bradley Beal. I'm a huge fan of him, and it would take Maxey to bring him in. But would you, for Bill, you know what I'm saying, trade Maxey?
Here's my thing. Maxey shot over 40% from three last year, averaged 17 points. First of all, we expect none of that out of him. That's
right.
He didn't. Yeah. He said, "Oh, I see that." Liar. No, you didn't. So, it's Maxey had a good season. I'm hoping he have another season, but his stock is high right now.
Yes.
Would I go and trade Maxey and Tobias for Bradley Beal? Me personally, I would not.
Thank you. Thank you.
Popular, but yes, we bring in a 23-point score. We have a 17-point score and a 16-point score. Your third and fourth best players. That's not bad, guys. That's not bad. And they're younger.
Yeah. Interesting. Mark, let me ask you about Tucker. And I love everything he brings to the table. Toughness, rebounding, defense, experience, corner threes. I love everything about it. What's that?
AARP. He brings that too.
Well, that's where I was going, right? So he's you could be looking at a 3-year deal, man, and he could be, using a walker by the third year of it. How much does that scare you away? 3 years for a guy who's 37 now.
Let me tell you though, looking at him previous in Milwaukee, now with Miami, it did not phantom on me that he was 37.
Same here.
I know I can say, I did this research. No. Let me tell you how I found out. Yesterday, Coach Jimmy Lonham and I talked. He's like, man, I hear a lot of PJ Tucker. Of course, you talking about golf first. That's always priority. And then we talking like PJ Tucker. He said, man, Mark, I just found he's 37 years old. And I was like, Coach, what are you talking about, Coach? He said, PJ Tucker. He's 37 years old. I said, no, he's not. He said, yes, he is. And I Googled it. I said, holy cow. I did not know that. So I know people say age is nothing but a number, but like 37 is pretty significant to me.
Mm-hmm.
37. But watching him last year, the year before, like he still got some. Before I knew his age, I was like, man, he's a great fit for us. But then I knew his age, like he's a great fit 4 years ago. Like, but is it to the point we get a certain player at that age that come in and you see how he was the last 2 years, and then when you get him, that's the time of the year he goes over the hill, and we don't get that.
Mm-hmm.
We just experienced that.
Exactly.
We're experiencing that right now.
Exactly. So I'm concerned about it. It is on my list of the concerns, but I also look at it like that player fits our mold. I was really excited. I was really hoping that Tyree AC from LSU fell to the Sixers, or they traded up to get him, because he could have gave you a lot of those things PJ Tucker got. He's a 6'8" small forward from LSU that I was in love with, man.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe this guy will fall. Maybe they start picking some European guys. He actually went up higher in the draft.
Interesting. What's your sense of what's next, Mark? I mean, the obvious one is what's going to happen with Harden. That's kind of lingering out there right now. Morey said last night it's a mutual love fest. I don't think there's any doubt he's going to opt in and they're going to extend him. But what's your sense of what that number is going to look like here with Harden?
I don't think it'll be that max number. I think he's going to opt into his big thing, and I think I truly believe that this love fest, when you're in love, you got to make sacrifices sometimes. If you truly mean you love this person or love this situation, you got to make sacrifices. But I know everybody, they say, I just want my money. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way for the Sixers and James Harden. If you love this situation or you want your money, it's not both. You can't. You just can't. You have to understand, and I'm quite sure he does. It depends on where his mindset is. Like, I want to be the highest player in the league the next 3 years, 4 years. Or you say, you know what? I'm going to opt in, and then I'll take a pay cut for the not significant pay cut, but a little pay cut to give us some flexibility.
Mm-hmm.
So Tom Brady, not that extreme, but doing that, and then say, hey, we can work from there.
Interesting. What's your sense of why he struggled last year? Do you think he wasn't healthy? Do you think he was a new team? Do you buy that he could become more of, not completely, but more of the old Harden next year or this upcoming season?
I'm a believer. I'm a believer when I see him.
Okay.
I just got to go about what I seen, and he was not the old James Harden. Now, I mean, we don't need that James Harden of Houston. We just need that 23, 10, and that's what we need. We need that consistently. But once again in the playoffs, he did not play that way. So we can say, oh, was he healthy? Was he unhealthy? But like, okay, let's go back. Before the playoffs, he was playing a lot better. Playoffs come, teams make adjustments, referees, let's play more physical. He doesn't play as well. And that's been a common trend with him the last 3 or 4 years. That's not like just out of the blue. That's what it's been. So, like, we have to accept him and say, All right, well, let's just say this is what he is. Let's just say he's now a 18 points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists guy. I'm okay with that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm okay with that. So the money got to match up to what your numbers say. Because then we don't have to keep judging you every day like people judge Tobias. People judge Tobias, but they say your numbers don't add up to where your money is. And it flows the same way when it comes to Harden. I think he was healthy. People say, oh, his hamstring. Like, no. I think the gentleman was healthy. And when I see him in person, he looks in shape. It's not like, he's a big guy, so his weight can go up and down, but like he looked in shape to me. And with that being said, I'm just going to talk it up. That's who he is.
Well, Mark, my biggest fear is if Embiid doesn't get past the first or second round next season, he's going to start making loud noises about he wants out of here. And that's not good for the future of this organization.
Watch this. Joel Embiid said some things after last year's exit in the playoffs that I thought he was trying to prove a point. He was a little upset, but I thought that kind of spurned the Ben Simmons thing. But you're entitled to your opinion. But then this year he said some stuff that he was just speaking his mind. Like 2 things that he said that kind of bothered me if I was another player in the locker room. And there's nothing wrong with it, but it would have bothered me personally. Yo, we don't have no PJ Tucker. We need a tough guy. We don't have that. And I'm in the locker room gang. I'm like, Paul Reed, like, okay, I got you. Like, all right, I feel you. So that would bother me. And then 2, like James Harden is not that. He's not that person no more. If I'm James, yo, bro, how you gonna say that about me? Like, those 2 comments kind of scratched my head. And then the third thing, the tweet, Jimmy Butler needs another star.
Right.
There you go. Yeah. There you go.
You know what you're doing. You're a Twitter savant. You know what you're doing, man. Those 3 comments to me, the first 2, you can chalk it maybe the heat of the moment, you're a little upset. Okay, cool. But the Jimmy Butler needs a new star thing.
Yeah.
I think the fans of Philly kind of mark that off as like they try to ignore it. But if he says something else like that, they might force him. The fans might force him to ask for a trade because they're gonna be questioning his.
Well, I'm looking at this though. I mean, I don't see any dogs. I mean, I'm looking at Furkan Korkmaz, no dog in him.
Nice guy.
George Niang, definitely not any dog in him. And I'm gonna tell you the truth, bro. Me and George can go 1-on-1, man. He might shoot, but he ain't driving to the basket. He is not taking me to the cup. I'm just letting you know, bro. You know what I'm saying? I understand it, bro, because I'm Father Time undefeated, dog. I had to realize also, yo, I just don't have it. My feet ain't quick enough, bro. So I'm just saying, dog. Then I'm looking at, the rest of the roster. I don't see anybody right now on this roster that has that dog in them that can take. You always have one guy that, you know what I'm saying, it's almost like the enforcer. They don't have an enforcer. Who can be their enforcer? Can Paul Reed? I mean, he already said something about Paul. Can Paul Reed be an enforcer? I don't know. I mean, and another thing, can we get by with this coach? I still don't know if I'm in with Doc still. You know what I'm saying? Can Doc coach these guys up and make them better?
Well, I like Doc. I like Doc, but there's no but because everything but don't count. I like Doc. I think Doc's a good coach. I think he's a championship caliber coach. He's had too many opportunities, too many situations where his team's up and they end up losing the series. That still bothers me. But I think Doc's a good coach. So I'm riding with Doc. We need that guy. We need that enforcer, and that is PJ Tucker. But now here's the thing. As soon as Joel made that comment, we don't have somebody like PJ Tucker. Even though Miami was about to start a new playoff series, he went straight to parody, oh, by the way, I'm opting out. Because Joel Embiid just made PJ Tucker value go way up.
Yeah.
So Miami knew that was coming as soon as Joel said that. So to be honest, he needs to buy Joel a ride or something. But anyway, but that's a fact. He's like, this guy's calling me by name. I gotta test it. I gotta see what it do. I gotta bring it there. So he PJ matches those things we need. Doc, like I said, I'm right with Doc. It's just interesting when I sit back and watch the roster. You guys said it really like we had the same team. Like, sometimes luck has to be on your side when it comes to getting these loans, getting to the finals. And I think for the Sixers, if this current roster, the way it's currently constructed, as well as bringing in maybe PJ, like we need some luck to maybe bounce our way for us to get to the finals.
Mark, what's your sense of what's going to happen in Brooklyn? The Kyrie stuff's flying around. You know, who knows what that means for Kevin Durant if he leaves. Simmons is still there, and I guess. What do you think happens there with that whole mess?
All right, I'm not a believer on if Kyrie gets traded that Kevin Durant's going to act out. Okay. Kevin Durant's a baller. Kevin Durant just want to play bad. He just want to play pickup. I want to play 5-on-5. Check it up. Let's play. He's not about that political stuff and he's not happy here. Kevin Durant don't want to move again. Kevin Durant don't want to move again. And I haven't spoke to Kevin Durant. I haven't spoke to Kevin Durant since pre-COVID. But I know his father extremely well. And I know how Kevin is to a certain extent. Kevin knows there's some BS going on in the locker room that wasn't the Nets doing the BS, and it was players. He's not a fool. He's not going to say, oh, well, y'all traded Kyrie, now I need to be traded. No, he understand, Kyrie held his stuff out some games this year and previous years.
Right.
You know, Ben was cleared to play, but didn't play. That's not the Nets' fault. That's those players' fault. As long as they bring in some pieces that help him win, I don't see KD asking out if they trade Kyrie.
Oh no.
No.
Well, you did hear that.
All right, he's back. Hold on, he's back.
I'm back.
Mark, we lost you for a second.
I don't. But he knows it's not the team's fault. He knows that it's not the team's fault. It's the players. Yeah. It's the particular players with their issues. He's like, I just want to play, dog. Check the ball up. So I don't think he would ask out of Brooklyn. I really don't. Oh, yes, he would. I think I know Kevin through his father and the times I've met him. He just want to play, man. He just want to play. And pick it up and keep leaving. Now going to another team, OKC, Golden State. Now I'm going to go to another team. That's not who Kevin is.
Yeah.
Kevin's not Kevin. And this is not from Kevin again. This is just me. The only reason Kevin went to Golden State because the media starts saying you're not a great player if you don't have no championship. You're not a great player. You're only but so good if you don't have no championship. In order to be considered one of great, you got to win a championship. Kevin's like, man, I got to win a championship. He went to Golden State. People, oh, you went to Golden State to buy a championship? Nope. Now I'm considered one of the best ever. Now he's in Brooklyn. He's not going to keep bouncing around. That's not who he is.
Hey, Mark, for as phenomenal of a talent as Kyrie Irving is, with all his antics, would you want him on your team?
It depends on what team am I. If I'm the Philadelphia 76ers, no. If I'm the Lakers, yes. If I'm New Orleans Pelicans, them young guys, heck no.
Mm-hmm.
It depends on who you are. If I'm
Memphis
with John Morant, no. And I know he mentioned these 10 teams or whatever. Like a lot of 10 teams, like, man, please, we don't want you over here.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want you. Kyrie's a heck of a talent when he plays. But Kyrie does keep himself off the court more so than his injuries. And that bothers me.
He loves the game. It's just sometimes his priorities aren't the game. You know what I mean? And that would bother me also. But I mean, I keep hearing that, that's one of the, we're one of the 6 teams that, he's, probably thinking about pursuing. I mean, would you be mad if he did show up though?
It depends on who he replaced.
It'll probably be a Maxey.
If he replaced Maxey, I'm not comfortable with that. Because I know he's not going to play 80 games. He's not going to play 60 games. He's going to make some comments to kind of stir the crowd. And this is Philadelphia. We're going to call you BS.
Oh, no question.
And, I think it's going to cause so much friction in the locker room with the fans and all that. And then, everybody remember, him and James wasn't on good terms when he left.
Mm.
So then we're going to bring that drama into the locker room?
Yeah.
Nope. No thanks. Mark, great stuff, man. We know you got to run, and we appreciate you giving us a couple minutes today, man.
Yeah.
And enjoy the off season. Keep up the good work, man. And we'll talk to you soon, Mark. Thanks. Appreciate
Thanks,
it.
guys.
All
All right, man. Be good.
That's Mark Jackson right there. Some interesting comments, man, all over the place. A lot. How about? I thought it was interesting when he was talking about what you're going to do to sweeten the pot, and he said flat out you're going to throw Maxey in there if that's what it's going to be.
I don't want to hear that, man. I agree with him, but I don't want to hear that. Sometimes what you think is a better deal is not. Sometimes you think you're improving your product and you're hurting yourself more so than you're improving it. Now, I just think this kid Maxey has such a great upside. He's such an electric player. I think even for his youth and inexperience, when he drives to the hole, nobody uses that window better than him. He has one of the softest touches off the window I've seen in quite some time. He can shoot the three. Occasionally, he'll play defense, but he's such an electric figure. I mean, he'll steal the ball for you. He can do mostly everything you need from a guard position. He's not as tough, and he admitted it. He caught the open mic when he was being accused of flopping. He said, "Hey man, I'm not that strong." Right. He'll get stronger as he gets older.
I agree.
So he can do just about everything else, man. And I'd hate to see that kid leave here and go somewhere else and shine. And we look back and see, I told you so. We should never let that kid go.
Yeah. Well, see, that's what I'm saying though. I'm saying this. That's why I say I'm not really believing in E. Gordon, bro.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan. We're talking about a guy that's 14 years in the league.
Yep.
I mean, you talk about, if you look at it, he's just now starting to get to a point where, he can average over, he averaged 17 points this year, a game this year.
Mm-hmm.
Man, he's going to blow up next year, just 1 year, more confident in the way he plays.
Mm-hmm. More freedom.
Yeah, exactly. So why would we need an Eric Gordon? I'm tired of us, looking like we're going to be, Houston Northeast.
Right.
I don't want to hear Houston Northeast. So to me, it's not a big deal as bringing in Eric Gordon. You know what I'm saying? It's not a big deal at all.
I hear you, man. All right, let's step aside. We'll come back. We'll dive back into that MVP discussion we were having a little bit earlier. This time we'll go to the offensive side of the ball. Remember, 2:00, Ben Davis is going to join us at 2:30. We'll dive into everything that went down last night in the draft. There was a little bit of surprise at the top. Banchero made a move up, kind of leaped up over Jabari Smith. We'll talk about that. Some of the other things, some of the local guys like Colin Gillespie ended up as well. We will dive into all of that and more when we get back. Don't go anywhere. Sports Take, Rob Ellis, Derek Gunn, Barrett Brooks, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network. All right, I want to tell you about Pro Action Restoration. If you got a home, you got a business, you have a property, and you've had water, fire, smoke, mold damage, you name it, across the board, they can come out and help you. Pro Action is on call 24 hours, 7 days a week to assist. I know for a fact they called them on a Saturday. They got over there right away. They cleaned up what was a big-time mess, and they did it at a very reasonable price, and they will not disappoint. Trust me when I tell you this. I've gone through it personally, and you do not want – if you have that experience, it's already traumatic enough. You get the right people in there to fix it. You can move on and minimize, and everything can be all good, and that's the way it was for me. They're licensed, bonded, fully insured. They've been serving the tri-state area for more than 2 decades. Pro Action will work in conjunction as well with your insurance company. Again, it could be water, it could be fire, it could be smoke, mold remediation, you name it. They can handle it. Give them a call, 610-623-3760, or you can reach them online at proactionrestoration.com, proactionrestoration.com.
Action News at 11 with Rick Williams. It's the team you trust to bring it all together. The stories that impact your community, a sports roundup for the locals, and the AccuWeather forecast you depend on. Action News at 11 with Rick Williams.
All right, did you know I was the mommy slam dunk champion?
Really?
Yes, really don't sound so surprised.
Let's see it.
Oh, you're ready. All right, here we go. Let's hear the crowd. So go to right, go to left, fake a mom. Mama, go up, up, up.
She did it.
Again? You can't avoid gravity, but United Healthcare can help you avoid financial surprises by helping you compare costs and doctor quality ratings. United Healthcare.
Uh-huh.
Field of life, First Trust Bank is there for you.
Champions on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Because Philadelphia dreams deserve a Philadelphia bank.
Go for the midnight dares. Go for the game. Go for the hits. Go for the fans. Go for the win. Go to Ocean Casino Resort. Book your trip at theoceanac.com.
The Chair, the Derek, the Rob. Welcome back, everybody. Sports Take, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network. Barrett, parts unknown. That's what I used to say about certain wrestlers, Derek.
Oh, yeah,
from
parts unknown, yeah.
Yes. Special Delivery Jones was from Parts Unknown. I remember back in the day. He was one of those guys, but we'll
Where's Barrett out checking the smoker again?
I don't know, man. Maybe he's gotten some early work in on the sheds that he's going to be building.
Or maybe the township finally sent a cop over to put him in handcuffs because he refused to pay that fine.
Uh-oh. I'm worried now. Now you're gonna have to have that bail money, man.
Yeah, he might be in handcuffs by now.
Oh, there he is.
Nah, come on, man. Come on now.
I'm just saying. I'm just throwing it out there for conversation.
We were worried about you, man.
Bro, that was I had the fastest way I could cook something for my grandson and niece. I had to put some oodles and noodles in the microwave.
There you go.
So, you know.
I hear you. You're a little out of breath, man.
Yeah, I was running.
Still got the moves.
Oh, he said some oodles and noodles.
He did a 4 or 540 from that seat to the microwave.
Raymond noodles.
I love it.
Going up the stairs, I was cool. Coming back down, it was a little shaky.
It should be the other way around, should it?
I know, but I was a little shaky.
I hear you.
My son loves those ramen noodles. You know how much sodium's in that stuff?
Well, that's some of the best food ever, though.
I know, because I used to watch you eat them little packs every day at work.
It's easy. It's cheap.
Yeah, he bring in pack those little plastic containers of ramen noodles every day. I'm like, what are you doing, dude? Man, he be sucking them things up. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
You know what? I make gourmet. Like I remember I was in college. If I wanted to woo a girl, I bring them over to cook.
Yeah.
Gourmet ramen noodles, bro.
What?
You take whatever poultry meat you have. You can have chicken or you can have shrimp or something. You take that, you boil it, start boiling it so it cooks with a little soy sauce, a little seasoning. Then you take you put the ramen noodle packet in there and cook it through. Add your little scallion onions in it, and you take an egg and break an egg and drop it in there, an uncooked egg, and drop it in there and let it cook around in there. Put some soy sauce on there and serve it up. Bruh. Woo! Gourmet ramen.
You guys know all the tricks, man.
High blood pressure at the age of 50.
That's from working with you, man.
That too. I agree.
Yes.
That too.
He just looks and put some butter in them. Look, Tone said put some butter in them. Yeah,
butter.
Bro.
My kids, I used to do it with mac and cheese. I would make them little mac and cheese. I drop butter in there and mix it up.
Oh man, I can't stand mac and cheese.
It's not my cup of tea either, man. But my kids, man, when they were not as much now, but when they were younger, forget it. I mean, that was money, man.
I think I'm the only person.
And it was a meal you could have ready in 3 minutes. It was perfect.
I think I'm the only person I know of that doesn't like mac and cheese. People look at me like, like I said something sacrilegious, like,
right.
You don't like
I don't
mac
eat
and
pasta
cheese?
salad either, man. Right. I don't eat pasta salad.
Oh, I like pasta salad. Now,
pasta salad's okay. It's okay. Yeah, I'm not looking for it, but if it's there, I'll eat it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of it though.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm there.
Yeah, we're getting a lot of good suggestions in the comment section from folks from different meals. All right, so jump back to the Birds here, guys, for a second. And again, 2:00, we'll talk to Ben Davis about the Phillies and what went on last night, which was it was late night, but it was a great win for them. I jumped over to that after the draft was over with the Phillies last night. That was the move. It was actually, the timing was perfect. I pop over to that. Schwarber goes yard, then Real Muto goes yard. And watching Suarez pitch a really good game, so we'll get into that. All right, so we did this a little bit earlier. We talked about looking at it right now, who we think is going to be the MVP after the season's over, and we did the defensive side of the ball. It's funny, we all had different guys. I had Slay, Barrett, or Derek, you had Hassan Reddick, and Barrett, you went with Fletcher Cox. So we all had different guys on the defensive side. So I'll hold off, but I'll tee you guys up for this one. Offensive MVP. Now, I think we'd all agree, probably if it's not Hurts, this team is in some trouble.
Right.
But regardless, tell me who you think who you think the offensive MVP is going to be. Barrett, why don't you dive in first?
Well, I'm a firm believer in guys that are contract players. Going into the next year, their contract year, is either blank or get off the pot.
Right.
And I really think that Miles Sanders, this is the year that he has to show that, yes, he was worth that second round pick and he's worth the contract going forward. And it's harder for running backs than it is for probably any other position, because everyone feels as though you can get a running backs come a dime a dozen. Well, he has to set himself apart. Miles Sanders has to set himself apart in being that guy that that is worth the investment of bringing him out, because he hasn't shown the ability to be the most healthiest player he can be. He's always out for something. Well, this year he's got to show that I can go out there, I can play consistently, I'm not going to get hurt, and be 1,000-yard rusher. And I really believe he can become 1,000-yard rusher. He's automatically going to be this team's MVP. Period.
I think it's an interesting choice. I do. You see the talent that's there for the guy.
It's there, man. It's there.
It's been a little bit of everything, right? It's been a little. He hasn't been able to get through a full season. He's got to show that he can do that. At times, he's got to be willing to just stick his head down and get 3 yards. Not everything's a home run, right?
Yep.
Not everything's even going to be a double, But just sometimes you got to do that, and that's where I think he struggles sometimes. But he's got an incredible ability. I mean, there is no doubt about that. He's been better with taking care of the ball. That was an issue earlier in his career. But the other thing is, prove to me you can carry the load. Prove to me you can be that guy for 20 carries. I know in the NFL now there isn't that much of that anyway. But
bell cow backs are like an extinct.
Other than Derrick Henry, there's not a ton of those kind of guys anymore.
Right.
I would be curious. So where are you going, Derrick?
Man, that's a tough one. But I'm going to say Dallas Goedert. I think with the addition of A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith maturing a second year, Quez Watkins hopefully maturing, the use of the backs as well, I think Goddard is going to get a lot of one-on-one situations. He's already shown that he can shake defenders, whether it's a safety or an outside backer trying to cover him. How many times did we see Dallas Goedert catching the ball with a guy 3, 4, 5 yards behind him or an open space? He has all the intangibles you can think of to be an upper tier tight end in the National Football League. And I just believe that this could be his year because of so many other options that Eagles have in this offense, to the point where he might be a leading pass receiver in terms of yards when it's all said and done.
Oh, I certainly think that is a possibility. I don't think there's any question that he could be. Well, look, I with Goddard, I think now there's no. God, it seems like it was so long ago, but Ertz was here last year for the beginning.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
It seemed like it was like 3 years ago.
Yeah, isn't that something?
So he's out from the shadow of Ertz. There's no doubt about that. with some of the additions they made is going to allow him to flourish that much more too, where he's, they're not going to be able to focus on him quite as much with AJ Brown here, Devontae Smith now in his second year, et cetera, which would open things up for him big time. He also should be, he is the perfect safety blanket for Jalen Hurts. He should be that guy and just continue to be that guy. So yeah, I think that's an interesting take as well. Look, I'm going to go AJ Brown. I think AJ Brown is just going to go bananas this year. I do. I think he's wants to show everybody that he was worth the new contract that they gave him, what they gave up to get him, a first rounder essentially to get here. He's playing with a guy who he's very comfortable with, who he's very tight with in Jalen Hurts. It seems like one's 10 years older than the other, but they're like a year apart. So I think that's big too. And they're working with each other quite a bit in the offseason. I think there's a built-in chemistry that's there with those two guys. Even though I love Devontae Smith on the other side, I think AJ Brown's going to go off this year, guys. And I think he wants to be in every conversation with the, Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, Cooper Kupp, whatever, fill in the blank of the best receivers.
Exactly. I think that's the biggest thing you hit right there, Rob. He wants to be named in the same breath as the DK Metcalfs, the Cooper Kupps. He wants everybody to see, look, I am a jewel, and I'm with a quarterback that's my friend now, one of my best friends, and I know he's going to help me out and make sure that he maximizes me, as as a playmaker. And I think he comes out of his shell. I mean, he's a huge target, man. I mean, both of you guys pick great guys that have a lot to prove. Goddard being, been second fiddle for so long, and Nick Sirianni wanting to run more 11 personnel more so than 12 personnel when they had a chance. Year before last, that's all Doug wanted was 12 personnel, one running back, two tight ends. Well, Nick Sirianni just wanted 11 personnel, one running back and one tight end. So, it kind of put him behind the stump, because they weren't going to start. They weren't going to play. They weren't going to play him as much as they were going to play Zach Ertz. He finally gets an opportunity, and every time he's had an opportunity, he's flourished at it. But then, you look at AJ Brown. AJ Brown just has a lot to prove to show everybody, look how good I am. Look at me. Watch how I go out here and play. I'm finally around an offense that, can be run centered, can be run orientated, but they're going to have to throw the ball, and they made sure they brought in somebody like myself to be that integral piece in opening up this offense. And I think he's going to take advantage of every opportunity Hurts gives him to do that.
Yeah, and I think if you look at his career, guys, I mean, rookie year, he's over 1,000 yards. Second year, he's over 1,000. Last year, what did he miss? 5? I think he missed 5 altogether, something like that.
800-something yards,
Yeah, he's still, and he was on pace for 1,000. This guy is a very consistent receiver. The one thing you've seen dip a little bit is his average yards per catch. He went from 20 rookie year to 15 to 13 last year. Last year, he was a little bit banged up. And the TDs were down, obviously, because he didn't, play as many games. But still, this guy is a very consistent receiver. I think you're going to see that average yard per catch go up. I think you're going to see the touchdowns go way up from 5. I think he could be in double figures like he was in his second year in Tennessee. And look, I know some people project Jalen Hurts to be exactly what Ryan Tannehill is, like a guy who's good but not great, who's not going to take you maybe to that next level. I think Hurts has more potential than that. We need to see it, but I think he has more potential than that. And I think this is where both guys can help each other out, man, and can do each other favors.
That's what the arm is saying. That's what the stream is saying. The stream is saying they don't think he could be a drop back quarterback. Well, there's more than one way to skin a cat. You don't necessarily look at the way Dak Prescott entered the league, how he threw for almost, I think he threw for like 4,300 yards.
Yeah.
Because they had such a great running game that they would run play action as opposed to running these damn RPOs. Get rid of these RPOs, but if they run play action, they can run that, and push the ball down the field because they have better protection on in how they block for them. It's a more aggressive protection, so you won't have anybody in his face, and it'll give him time to have everything open up in front of him. And now he's going to be it'll be easy for him to have a more defined read from what the defense is trying to get him.
See, I think a wide receiver is only as great as the quarterback gets him the ball, and I have major reservations still about Jalen Hurts. Can he get AJ Brown the ball enough to make him the candidate for an MVP? I don't know. We don't know. Nobody knows what Sirianni is going to do with him or what he's capable of doing. How much has he improved in so many facets of his game? And so that's a great choice. A.J. Brown is a slam dunk choice, but Jalen Hurts is not, I don't think, at Ryan Tannehill's level, and I don't think Ryan Tannehill is a great quarterback. The only difference is Tannehill has more experience.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only difference between
Derek,
the two right now.
I think your point is really fair. I'm not, and I think we're kind of on the same page when it comes to Hurts. It's sort of a wait and see. So I'm not. I can't argue that. My Brown pick is sort of under the assumption that we're going to see improvement out of Jalen Hurts. That we're going to see him. Yeah. And I'm not telling you get to an MVP level. I'm just saying, become, a much better quarterback. Guys, like I said off the top, let's face it. If we're not having this conversation at the end of the year that Hurts is in the MVP discussion, then this team's probably in some trouble on offense. He's got to get better. Anthony makes the point that he stares down his receivers too much. Second reads and all that. I mean, no doubt. Like, these are all the things that he's got to get better at. And it's a difficult spot to be in because I think the Eagles did some amazing things last year or this offseason, and to improve this team. But ultimately, a lot of this is going to fall on the shoulders of number one, and that's Jalen Hurts. If he's not better, man, it ain't going to happen. But I have to believe at some level, working really hard and being a really smart football mind can carry you to a certain level. Now, it can only take you so far too. I get it, but I got to imagine we're going to see some improvement. The question is it enough where we feel like this guy's can be a Super Bowl quarterback?
And here's what's going to happen in training camp. In the limited times we see him in preseason, he's going to make a few great throws, and people on Twitter are going to go nuts that Jalen Hurts has arrived. No, that's a controlled environment. You're playing in games that are being played vanilla. You got teams that are more concerned about getting the players off the field healthy than they are winning a preseason game. So you're not going to get a full fruition of what we're going to see from Jalen Hurts. And that's why I'm going to pump the brakes throughout training camp and throughout the preseason. And I can't say it enough. When we're 3, 4, 5 games into the season, I think that's when we can get a fair assessment of where Jalen Hurts is as a professional quarterback.
Well, I mean, did you guys hear what we heard from Gannon yesterday? I mean, Gannon broke it down. Gannon said it takes at least 3 or 4 years just to get acclimated on how to read defense. Yes. You guys just don't come back. There are very few and far between guys. I mean, everybody's looking at the Chargers quarterback and the Cincinnati Bengals quarterback.
Yeah, those guys are exceptions.
Yeah, I mean they're exactly exceptions. They're not just you're not just going to go out and just think that you're going to just make plays like that. Even look at the Chiefs. It's not like, as soon as he got, as soon as Patrick Mahomes got in the offense that he was reading. Right. He wasn't. No, he had gifted athletes to help him out. Yes. You know what I'm saying? You have gifted athletes to help you out. It makes things easier as a pass thrower.
Sure.
It wasn't until, with the Bills that they got another receiver that can help them out. And the offense opened up. It's not just a quarterback's job to just it's not just a quarterback that has to read the defense. It's also the wide receivers understand where they're supposed to check down, where to break. How's the defense playing to his strengths. Last year, you're talking about Hurts having his starting receiver, his number one receiver was a rookie.
Yeah.
A rookie.
Yep.
He didn't really know how to run routes according to what the defense is giving him. And that's the special talent that wide receivers also have to develop itself. And you have a guy in Brown that's done that. He understands, all right, if it's man-to-man, to run through the coverage. If it's zone, he got to sit down in coverage because he'll get his head knocked off. Those are all things that you learn as being a pro.
That's right. See, I want to answer this question. Philly fan says, hey, D-Gun, you picked Goddard. How do you think he can get Dallas the ball but not AJ? And what I said was, I think Dallas could be that MVP by default because so much attention is going to be paid to these other guys. And I don't want to see Jalen Hurts forcing the ball to A.J. Brown or to Devontae Smith. And I do think Dallas is going to get so much one-on-one coverage that we're going to see Jalen Hurts go to his safety valve, meaning Dallas Goedert, a lot more as that safety valve just to get some positive yards out of it. I don't think Dallas Goedert is better than A.J. Brown or Devontae Smith. I just think those two are such special talents. Defensive coordinators are going to have to devise schemes to try to neutralize them more so, which means you can't cover everybody. We talk about this all the time. You can't cover everybody, but I would take my chance covering a tight end one-on-one 9 times out of 10 more so than A.J. Brown or Devontae Smith.
Yeah, and I want to go back to what Barrett said. You know, not everybody is Justin Herbert. Not everybody's Joe Burrow.
No.
And I know we
don't
want
have
them
to
to be, of course, right? But it takes a little while sometimes. We're in such a
microwave
society. Thank you. I mean, where we want it yesterday, and not everybody develops at the same pace. Look, I'll be the first one after this year to say, if he looks similar, to say, yeah, it probably isn't going to happen. Like, he's an NFL player or quarterback, but he's not a guy who's going to win you a Super Bowl. I'll be the first one to tell you that. But I do think he's owed this year for us to find that out. And I think it's fair to have every doubt. I think it's fair to have optimism. But to just he's this, he's that, I think it's premature either way.
You're right. You're right.
Right. Because I see guys always, come on, Barrett, stop it. No, I'm not stopping it because I understand. And I've seen guys that go from, not being like Big Ben could not read a defense to save his life. If it wasn't for our running game, we wouldn't have won that Super Bowl my second year. It was his second year in the league. We won that Super Bowl in spite of him. That's why you didn't hear a lot of him, kicking it and everything else after the Super Bowl, because he knew we won the Super Bowl in spite of his ability to play. He didn't even throw a touchdown.
Yeah.
If you look at it, Hines caught a touchdown from Randall L.
Right. It was receiver.
So you got, look at Derek Carr. Derek Carr didn't turn out, and he wasn't the guy that, that started out being great. He had to work his way up to being a great quarterback. Now he's one of the better quarterbacks in the league. You know what I'm saying? It takes a while for these guys to develop and get the timing on what it is to be an NFL receiver. Things, slow down for you. Like Brady understands things will slow down for him because he does, he's gifted in that capacity now. Now he sees it. All right. That's why he's still playing now. He's already got the answers to the test. So he's not worried about, going out there every week and having to learn things up because he's seen everything under the sun.
Mm-hmm.
Give Jalen Hurts the same thing. Let him see what's under the sun first before you just automatically say, you go out there and play. You better be great.
Right. I'm looking at Anthony's comment here. It says, I'm sorry, I'm not buying the Jalen Hurts hype. He struggles to read defenses, and never compare him to Donovan McNabb or Michael Vick. Newsflash, Donovan McNabb and Michael Vick also had problems the first couple of years reading defenses. Michael Vick in particular was so electric because when he took off, you weren't catching Michael Vick from behind. Same way when he was at Virginia Tech. He had a laser for an arm, but he couldn't control his arm a lot of times. Exactly. And he threw to the wrong spots a lot of times. But when that man took off, it was over. People forgave Michael Vick for his deficiencies at quarterback initially because he was such an incredible athlete. He was faster than most wide receivers in the game.
No, he was faster than the wide receivers.
He said as much when he was on with us about his early years in Atlanta.
Yes, it was a struggle.
Yeah.
So, and again, we keep forgetting Jalen has had one full year as a quarterback in the National Football League. And yes, we have broken him down like a fraction 100 times over. And we realize Jalen Hurts has a lot to prove. But I'm not just going to bury the kid without giving him the second year.
Same.
And we not only from Rich Gannon, but we've heard from so many coaches. When you watch programs, when you watch interviews with coaches, it takes a quarterback 3 to 4 years to fully master the game at the NFL level. I don't care what system you're playing in. Jalen Hurts has 1 full year as a starter. I'm not saying he's going to be an elite quarterback. I want to see him be a better quarterback. And if he's a better quarterback, he can be a more efficient and productive quarterback in Nick Sirianni's system.
And
that's
it
all I
doesn't
want to
mean
see.
he has to jump from what he is to Tom Brady. We need to see that growth this year to know, okay, this is getting better and better. And by the way, Sirianni needs to put him in the best position to succeed too. You know what I mean? It works. Andy Reid worked in conjunction with McNabb. Andy Reid worked in conjunction with Mahomes. We go through the whole thing, but you know what I'm saying here. It's a team sport, man. It's on him, but it's also on others to make sure that this guy succeeds. So, all right, good discussion there. And look, whenever you talk about the quarterbacks, it's polarizing. It gets heated, that's for sure. But it's all good. It's all fun. So we'll keep kicking that around as well. So when we come back, guys, we'll talk a little Phils. Ben Davis is going to join us from San Diego. They got a big win late last night. They will continue on the West Coast trip here for 3 more days. Then they come back. We'll talk some Phillies. When we get back a little bit later, we'll dive back into some of the happenings last night as well in the NBA. He's Derek Gunn. He's Barrett Brooks. I'm Rob Ellis. We are Sports Take, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network.
Action News at 11 with Rick Williams. It's the team you trust to bring it all together. The stories that impact your community, a sports roundup for the locals, and the AccuWeather forecast you depend on. Action News at 11 with Rick Williams.
All right, did you know I was the mommy slam dunk champion?
Really?
Yes, really, don't sound so surprised.
Let's see it.
Oh, you're ready. All right, here we go. Let's hear the crowd. So go to right, I go to left, fake 'em out. Mama, go up, up, up.
She did it.
Again?
You can't avoid gravity, but United Healthcare can help you avoid financial surprises by helping you compare costs and doctor quality ratings. United Healthcare.
Uh-huh.
Field of life, First Trust Bank is there for you.
Champions on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Because Philadelphia dreams deserve a Philadelphia bank.
Go for the midnight dares. Go for the game. Go for the hits. Go for the fans. Go for the win. Go to Ocean Casino Resort. Book your trip at theoceanac.com.
We are back. Oh, there he is. Oh, he's got his snacks. Yeah, that's what we figured. Rob Ellis, Barrett Brooks, Derek Gunn. He's got his belly full now. You all right, Gunner? You got your snacks in you? You feeling better now? You okay? You can get through the rest of the show?
Hey, man, Antonio messed up. That was not a 3-minute break. I'm telling you.
A good carpenter doesn't blame his tools. Okay, D-Gun. Nice try. All right, so joining us right now from lovely San Diego, California, his former home, he was the second overall pick by the San Diego Padres. I won't say the year since Ben's 21 years old. It was like 2 years ago, somewhere around. I'm not really sure exactly how long ago it was. Ben Davis, what's happening, Ben?
Not a whole lot, guys. I'm just waiting to head over to the ballpark. They're going to hit early again today, so I'm going to go shag and run around the outfield like an idiot.
To be honest, I'm surprised you joined us. I thought you'd be in the gas lamp quarter having a nice Mexican meal or something.
Oh, no, not. It's too early for that, Gunner. It's only 11 o'clock out here.
That's the best time. Beat the lunch rush, brother.
What was your favorite spot, Ben, back in the day? What was your go-to food, drink?
There still is a steakhouse here called Greystone, and they have tremendous steaks. They have good sides, lobster mac and cheese, that kind of stuff. It was a go-to of mine. It was a lot of fun. And then down at the ballpark in Mission Valley, because I just played in a couple exhibition games here, but over by the ballpark in Mission Valley, there was a little sidebar called McGregor's. We used to hang out after the game and go hang out there. It was a cool little spot, but I really enjoyed my time here in San Diego. People were great. Obviously, the weather is ridiculous, and you never get used to it because it's so nice every day.
And they got a great seafood place, Seaport Village. I can't think of the name. I think it's Anthony's, but they have a great. You ever been there?
I have been there. It's absolutely awesome. And there's another place in Del Mar called JAKIB's. It's right on the ocean, and it is what the views are unbelievable. It's unbelievable. We used to go there a lot because Trevor Hoffman lived right down the street, so we used to go hang out at Hoffy's house, which was right on the beach. I mean, on the beach. See? And then we go to Jake's and have supper afterwards. That was cool.
That's the good life there. That's the good life.
You got that right, BB.
I never played. I never passed the Mason-Dixie line, man. Everywhere I played was cold, man. Philly, Detroit, Green Bay, Pittsburgh, the Giants. Everything was up north, man. So I never got that, that being on the beach stuff.
Like, being the rockhead that I am at times, I would wake up every morning and you think, okay, I wonder what the weather's going to be like today. It was the same every day because coming from a cool climate, we have four seasons. But here it's just the same every day. But in my mind, I'm thinking it's got to be different today. It's got to be. It just never was.
Wow. Ben, last one for me, kind of memory lane. I mean, you were around and played with Tony Gwynn. Just perhaps other than maybe like Babe Ruth and Ted Williams, the most incredible numbers you're ever going to look at is if you really start digging into some of the stuff that Tony Gwynn did in terms of lack of strikeouts and you name it. I mean, across the board, we could go through. Well, what was that like on a daily basis just to watch this guy go to work, whether it was BP in the game, the way he went about his business? He was ahead of the game with the videos. He was a diehard video guy. What was it like playing with him?
Well, first of all, I miss him dearly. He was such a good friend, such a great man, such a great mentor. And now seeing his son, Junior, who was in the radio booth with us last night, same voice, same cackle, same everything. And he and I did a podcast a couple years ago together, and it was eerily, it's the same person. It's unbelievable. Same jovial manner, same smile. So just to be able to hear him brings back those great memories of Tony. But he is, fun fact, another Tony Gwynn stats. He's always come out 297 career 3-hit games.
Wow.
297.
Wow.
One career 3 strikeout game.
That's insane.
Wow.
That's insane.
Wow.
I mean, can you imagine now, Ben, with striking out's nothing now to these guys.
He was just, even his last year, I think he was 41 years old. Ironically, it was my last year in San Diego, 2001, before I got traded. He still had 20/10 vision, much like Ted Williams did. Jeez. He was just a magician with that bat in his hand, 8 batting titles. There's nothing he couldn't do. He feared no one. I mean, I think he's faced like 18 Hall of Famers, and his career like 348 batting average against those 18 Hall of Famers.
Yeah, he wasn't a big home run hitter, but man, it was not a better technician at the plate during his day.
Yeah, he was a great athlete. A lot of people forget. I mean, one year he had 50+ stolen bases. He got drafted by the Clippers in basketball out of San Diego State.
Yep.
He was just a great athlete. Yeah. He was
yeah.
just a great athlete. But there's nothing he could not do with that bat in his hand. And he really is missed. But it's nice being out here and thinking about those memories of him and things like that. And he was just a great dude.
Well, Ben, let's go present day, man. This is a pretty good way to start it. I mean, you're facing a guy who's arguably been the toughest pitcher in baseball this year, last night, and that's a hell of a win, man. Suarez does his thing. Schwarber continues to be just out of his mind in June, and just maybe you get Real Muto going a little bit here. It was a good win for them last night.
Yeah, Tom and I were actually walking back to the hotel last night, and it was a refreshing ball game to watch. It was clean. It was crisp. I think there were only 6 total strikeouts in the whole game from both sides. It was refreshing to see. Ranger pitched great. It was command of the fastball was outstanding. And Musgrove was doing his thing early on. I don't know if he was fatigued because of just getting over the COVID, but he was on top of his game early on. And then it just switched. And that's what this lineup can do. It is combustible and it can happen all at once. I read somebody said a tweet out says, I took the trash out and I came back and the Phillies just scored 5 runs. But that's the way it can happen. And it was a team effort again. The defense was spectacular last night. Didi was awesome. Yep. Stott was good. Brome was good. We saw the behind double play pick that Rhys Hoskins had. Castellanos had a nice play in right field. It was just a really good all-around baseball game to watch. And I think they needed that. They had that 3-game losing streak. They kind of got embarrassed, I think, offensively down in Texas. But they came out and they really took care of business. It was fun to watch.
That's kind of what we're going to see them, huh?
Yeah. If you're the consummate Phillies fan, Ben, this team will make you drink a bottle of Maalox every day. I mean, they face a guy like, Hader, who hadn't given up a run since July of last year. They beat him. You get Musgrove last night, who hadn't given up more than 2 runs in the game all season, 8-0, and as Rob said, got to be your leading candidate for Cy Young in the National League right now. Their bats are dormant. All of a sudden, they wake up in the 5th or 6th innings, and it's like the Phillies that ran up off 15 out of 18 wins. And you're thinking, what team is Suarez pitched out of his mind? The bullpen held its own.
Yeah.
And then, just a few nights ago against Texas, they did everything that makes you want to pull your hair out. Well, your hair, because you have such great hair. I have nothing left.
They are frustrating at times, Gunnar. You're absolutely right. And you look at them and you're thinking, why can't they do this every game? It's just not the way baseball is. It's too hard of a sport. They got outplayed in Texas from pitching standpoint, offensive standpoint, and a defensive standpoint. They simply got outplayed in those 2 games down there. And I think the pride hurt them a little bit, and they came out ready to go. You should have seen how many guys were taking early BP yesterday. I mean, it was JT was out there, Schwarber, who's been hot as a firecracker. Why is Schwarber out there? Well, he wanted to see a lot of breaking balls off the machine so he can get ready for Musgrove. These guys, they put their work in. Castellanos was in the batting cage for about an hour and a half yesterday with Kevin Long. These guys are getting the work in. It just doesn't equate on a daily basis. I know, I'm biased against football, or not football, but against baseball because it's the sport I play. But in other sports, if you're bigger, faster, and stronger, you're going to win a lot of those times. But then you go up and face someone like a Jamie Moyer who might just shove it up your, he's just throwing 74-mile-an-hour changeups. It's just the way baseball is. It can be frustrating. This team can be frustrating. But I think you got a good picture of what if they put it all together like they did last night. They're fun to watch, man.
I think that earlier on I equated them to they've always got a pitcher, a puncher's chance, just like a boxer. And they've always got a hitter's chance. And I think that's the biggest thing going into, I think people around the league are starting to take notice that they're hitting, man. It's going to be a major staple going into, I'm saying they're going to be in the playoffs already, so when you can score like that, man, all you have to do is get a reliable closer. And I think they do have that in Sir Anthony. Everybody else just, follow suit, man. I mean, I think that's where they are right now. Just follow suit.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And the thing is, if you're a pitcher, you can never let your guard down with this offense. Say you get 2 quick outs, you're like, oh, okay, I'm kind of out of this. And all of a sudden you get a runner on, and then someone pops one, and you just gave up 2 runs like that. That's what this offense can do. But I would agree. They need to adjust this bullpen somehow because they're going to need these guys. The starters aren't going to go 7 innings every night like Ranger did last night. So they're going to have to fix it. They're going to definitely need a closer. If they let Sir Anthony do it, obviously he has the ability to do it. Did you see what he did last night? I mean, the guy's he's turned the page. He's reached a whole different level. It is fun to watch. But again, defensively, they have to. These guys aren't going to win Gold Gloves. We know that. But catch the ball when it's hit to you. You don't have to always leave your feet, but make the routine plays. I know it sounds silly, but make the routine plays like they did last night. And there were some tough ones involved as well. But make the routine plays and go in there and get to swing it again.
Yeah, Dini was unbelievable in the field last night. But go ahead.
Yeah. And Ben, I look at Schwarber. He's not your prototypical leadoff guy, but the guy's got 20 home runs before the All-Star break. I think he's going to make teams rethink the leadoff spot the way he's swinging the bat right now.
Yeah, plus he's seen a lot of pitches. That's always been his MO. He trusts his eyesight. He trusts his hands. He's got some of the strongest hands I've ever seen, and quick hands through the zone. But yeah, I mean, he's not going to go out there and steal your bases like a prototypical leadoff guy like a Ricky Henderson or Juan Pierre. But he's getting on base. He is hitting home runs. I think he's on pace. I read today for 46.
That's right.
If you get 46 home runs out of him, sign me up right now. And he's nice as the day is long. He works his tail off. He's not going to win a Gold Glove in left field, but he's serviceable out there. And as long as he drives in more runs than he lets in, I'm all in.
Yeah, he's got 9 in June, and you're right, Ben. He's on pace for 46, man. It's remarkable what he's been doing. This is his month, man. He is just scorching right now. It's unbelievable.
Would you consider moving him to the cleanup spot? Would you consider it?
I think the way the offense is clicking right now, I kind of think you got to let the pieces sit where they are. But the bottom line is, it was nice to see JT with that 3-run homer. He said, it's been a long time coming for me when we interviewed him after the game. Castellanos has to get it going. If those two guys can start to heat up even more, it's going to lengthen this lineup even more because they're just not going to be able to pitch around certain guys.
Ben, I want to ask you about Castellanos and I know he had a hit last night, and like you said, he's working his rear end off to get this right. What's your sense of where this is right now? How's he fallen into this? Because he's not usually this guy. Like Schwarber usually starts off slow. April's usually a struggle. Then he goes crazy as the year goes on. What do you think's happening with Castellanos? I see a guy chasing a lot of bad pitches personally, but what is your sense?
He's chasing bad pitches, but he doesn't have the same plate coverage as we've seen him have in years past. He's not driving that ball to right field. He's not taking his base hits to right field. It just seems like he's so far off the plate that he can't even reach those pitches. That's something I'd like to see him change. He told us in spring training, like, I'm still learning how to pull the ball. And that's okay to say, but if you're not driving the ball to right field like we've seen him do, then, I don't know where he's going to fit in this lineup. I don't know if a lot has to do, and not making excuses, but these balls this year are completely different from what they've been able to hit in years past. They've made the adjustment with these baseballs. They're kind of coming off the bat real hot, and then it seems like they're hitting a wall and the parachutes they're coming down. So many balls have fooled Tom and me in the booth this year. The fact that we're going to think that they're home runs, and they're not even getting to the warning track. So I don't know if that has something to play. Like, he doesn't know that he can drive the ball to right field like he has in years past. Maybe he thinks he has to pull it to get out of the yard. Maybe that's why he's pulling off the ball. Maybe that plays into it. I just like to see him get back to taking those base hits to right field, right center, and being the hitter first and then the power guy later.
Interesting. I got to ask you about Nola, who goes tonight, and man, what a bounce back from last year. Ben, you look at what he's been doing here just over this last stretch, last 5 games. Phillies have won every start, by the way, that, for him, last 5 starts. He's 3-0 with a 1.93 ERA, 8 earned runs during that stretch, 1 walk that's an intentional walk. I mean, you talk about no free passes. That's been Aaron Nola lately.
Yeah, he's been great. The fastball command, which for any pitcher is key. That's why Ranger was so good last night. But his fastball command and willingness to use that fastball is completely different from what we've seen the last couple of years. I think he falls in love with missing bats. He spins a lot of baseballs to change up a lot. And I think hitters kind of recognize that, and we're sitting on it a bit more. Now he still has enough giddy up on his fastball to throw it by guys. And I think that's why that's the change that he has made, and his willingness to use that and use that fastball with conviction. He's getting it down and away to righties. He's buzzing towers, running off the front hip of these lefties and bringing it back. So it's the fastball command has been completely different for him, but yet he still has the ability to flip that curveball or the changeup in there whenever he wants. But I look for that to continue tonight. This is a lineup. Obviously, if Machado, I don't know if he's going to play tonight with that ankle. He might be back in there, but this is a lineup that you can pitch to, especially with Tatis Jr. not in there. You can take advantage of that, and he has pitched extremely well in Southern California.
So looking good for Eflin tomorrow, right? I mean, all systems go right now. He's done everything you would normally do in between your starts. I guess a good sign?
Yeah, it's a great sign. And he was actually even out shagging yesterday during early batting practice with us, running around, getting the baseballs. He did have a little sleeve knee brace on, but that was about it. He didn't show any signs. He threw his bullpen in Texas with no problems the other day. So, I think they're going to let him go out there and go as long as he can.
How concerned are you about Eflin's knee?
How concerned am I? After what I saw yesterday, I'm not really that concerned, Gunner.
Okay.
I mean, he looked like he was moving around just fine, and he's a big dude. He's going to have issues that happen. And the only problem I don't like is it was on the surgically repaired knee, for what I understand. So that is a little bit of concern. But after seeing him run around the outfield yesterday, I don't really have that many concerns.
Any of these young guys, see coming up next couple of days, barring anything substantial in the bullpen?
Not really, Barrett. I don't know who they have down there, who they can call up. You might see a Christian Sanchez get called back up, maybe, if Alvarado continues to fall.
Any shot at Appel, Ben?
Maybe. From what I hear, he's throwing the heck out of the baseball. Pat McCarthy, Tom's son, keeps us informed about how the guys are doing. He said Appel looks very good, throwing the baseball and throwing hard. I'd love to see it personally for that kid to get up there. There's only been 2 players that were the number 1 overall pick that never made it to the big leagues. One is Appel. The other one is a left-handed pitcher by the name of Brian Taylor, who the Yankees drafted.
Brian Taylor. That's right.
He's a left-handed pitcher, supposed to be a stud, and he never made it either. So, from that aspect, I'd like to see Apeldo because he stayed in the game that long and he's worked his tail off. He has this new niche, which is the bullpen. But what I understand is he is throwing the baseball pretty good. If he can come up and help them out, then I see no reason why he shouldn't be up here. But other than that, Barrett, I don't know if there's any other real answers at the lower levels from a bullpen standpoint.
Ben, what's your
wishful
sense?
thinking, man? Wishful thinking. That's all, man. Familiar.
Yeah. Oh, here you
down there.
Well, Ben, ideally, let's assume that Sir Anthony can go back to back or back to back to back as things go on and we progress here. Ideally for you, is it he's the closer, some combo of Hand and Brogdon as setups? How would it work for you, or would it be strictly matchups for you?
I think it would be strictly matchups, but Rob Thompson said Sir Anthony matches up against everybody. So from that aspect, I don't care if you have, Gehrig, Mano, and Ruth coming up in the ninth inning. I think Sir Anthony is your guy. Now, with regards to Brogdon, he has come a long way. I tip my cap to him. He has looked outstanding. He's got an extremely low ERA. He's really low. I think it's in the low twos now, maybe even lower. But the changeup has been good, righty on lefty. Righty on righty. It's been the cutter's been a good pitch for him. Still has a pretty good fastball at the top of the zone, 96. But he's been real good. Hand has been pretty good. He has not been good with runners coming into inherited runners. He's not been good. But coming into a clean inning, Hand's been pretty darn good. But I think it's going to be more of a matchups. I think you're going to see Knable earlier in games, maybe sixth inning.
No.
Yeah, until he can find the strike zone again. He just is having a tough time finding the strike zone. So I can see some concern there. But
that's a nice way to put it. That's a nice way to put it.
He said that.
Some concern. Boy, that was politically correct.
He said that so diplomatically correct.
Man.
I had to start laughing. I couldn't take it.
We're trying not to get you in too much trouble, Ben, but he is frightening when he steps to the mound, man.
Ben Davis has been removed from all broadcasts for the rest of the season.
Oh my God.
No, it's been a struggle, and I feel for the guy because he started off really good at great spring training, and it just seems like he's just really struggling to find it right now. And if they can get him back, he does have the goods. And if they can get him back to being, I don't know if it's a mental thing or something where he's release points off, but if they can get him back, they need him. And if he can be that guy, then that they signed him to be, then obviously only going to help the bullpen.
What's Real Mutual's role in that? I mean, he has been playing well, from a batting standpoint, but then, how's he calling games? He's not playing like the guy I saw 2 years ago.
Yeah, well, all we do, Barrett, are make suggestions. We're not the one throwing it. We feel it's the best way you can have a scouting report. And sometimes you can stay on that scouting report. Sometimes you have to get completely off it. If say we're facing Barrett Brooks and you're a good fastball hitter, right? So maybe we try and attack with a curveball, but you're not. My pitcher's not getting the curveball over that day. Then we have to attack it. Just because you're a good fastball hitter doesn't mean we can't throw it. So, you got to attack accordingly. You have to work with what the pitcher has that particular day. Yeah, it's great if the pitcher has all his pitches working, but if they don't have it, then all we're doing is making suggestions as to what we feel is the best way to get a guy out.
Right.
I think JT calls a good game. It's just, you can only make suggestions. Those are the guys that have to throw that pitch. And if they agree to it, it's on them.
Hey, Ben, take me inside a catcher's mind for just a moment. When you're dealing with somebody like Knable who has such big aspirations coming into the season, and it's been basically a roller coaster ride for him.
Mm-hmm.
What do you say to him to the rare times when you go out there and you talk to him on the mound, or you saddle up to him in the clubhouse after or before a game?
That's a great question, Gunnar. And sometimes you kind of act like a babysitter. Sometimes you act like a motivational speaker. You got to know. You have to know the pitcher and what he can take and what he can tolerate out on the mound. Okay. There's sometimes you got to go out there and really get into it with them. Like, hey, you're better than this. Make a pitch right now and get our butts back in that dugout. Let's go. And there's other times you gotta say, hey, you're doing okay. Kind of put your hand on his shoulder. You're doing okay. You're throwing the ball. That was some tough luck there. You just have to know the animal out there on the mound. So it depends. So there's other times where you can maybe get him in the clubhouse or the dugout and maybe talk to him maybe behind the scenes where no one else sees it and kind of be that maybe like a mentor figure to the guy. But there's certain guys. This is a veteran team. I don't know if JT has to do that much. But there are certain guys that you have to get into it with them, and other times you have to coddle.
Ben, what's your sense with Harper here? He's battled from that infection, that blister, and he's back, which is good. I think they're going to wait another week before they evaluate the elbow. What's your sense of where he is health-wise?
Well, I think they're just trying to get him in a spot where he can throw without any pain. I think he has been tossing a little bit out on the field. They're trying to get him back to 90 feet from what I understand. So that it's enlightening. I don't know how it's, if he doesn't play at all in right field, it would not surprise me this year. Because it is something that he has to make sure that it's 100% before he comes back, because having that UCL, that slight little tear in that elbow, it's nothing to mess with, and you don't want to rush it by any means. I tip my cap to him for doing what he's doing in the DH role, and thank God they have the DH role.
Right.
We'd be nowhere without him. But to have it's something he said that he doesn't really like, but it doesn't show, because what he's doing at the plate is nothing short of spectacular. He's in on every pitch. He's ready to go, and he's been huge for the Phillies offensively. He's doesn't matter, righty lefty. He's on everything, staying on pitches. Should have had 2 hits last night instead of only just the 1.
Yep.
But that happens. You don't like to see it happen, but it does. But listen, he's been awesome. He's been a tremendous signing for the Phillies, and he's done everything they've asked him to do since his time here.
All right, Ben, let me ask you about this stretch. Last one from me here. You get 3 more in San Diego, then it's 3 home against Atlanta, then it's 3 home against St. Louis. You get a little respite with Washington, but then it's St. Louis again and then Toronto. This is a difficult stretch, for this team. And what's remarkable, I said this to these guys yesterday, as hot as the Phillies have been in June, they have the 5th best record in baseball in June. There are a lot of teams that are playing really well. Unfortunately, one of them is right in front of them, in the division here. This is you really got to sort of continue this pace here if you hope to even be that 3rd or 2nd wild card.
You have to, and I think they kind of knew that going into the season. We knew it was going to be a very good division, and they knew they were going to have to, beat up on the teams in their division. I thought we were kind of getting past the tough schedule part in May. That's all we talked about was how tough the schedule was in May, and then you just rattle off these teams that they're going to have to play again before the All-Star break. It's not going to be easy. But again, I know it's cliche, but they really do have to take it one game at a time, not get ahead of themselves. But they do have to, a couple teams like Washington. It was nice to see them take 4 or 5 down there. They have to beat up on teams, and nothing against them. They're just not very good. And the Phillies are a good team, and they have to win those ball games. That's why the games in Texas were very frustrating. But again, it shows you that anything can happen in baseball. They got to take care of business. They got to worry about tonight and see how it goes. But it's not going to get any easier, and the Phillies know what's at stake. And they know the teams ahead of them aren't going to slow down anytime soon.
No question. All right, so for everybody, check out Ben tonight along with Tom McCarthy. So you got a 9:40 start tonight. Saturday is at 10:10. You get an afternoon game, of course, on Sunday at 4:10, and then it's back home after a day off. Ben, we appreciate it, man. Enjoy the rest of your trip out there. Have fun, and we're looking forward to the call tonight on NBC Sports.
Go surfing.
Anytime, guys. I got one question for Gunnar, though. How's the new Traeger?
Do you have a Traeger?
I do.
I got to call you because I'm lost. I'm lost. I got you and I got a couple other friends. I got to call for some pointers because my wife is giving me an edict. She buys it for me for Father's Day, and she's already said, so are you going to fire it up this weekend? I'm like, I got all these instructions. I'm like this.
I thought you would know if anybody would know how to.
Anybody, that's what I'm saying, Rob. Anybody would know it'd be Gunnar.
I'm not familiar with pellet. I'm coal. I'm lump coal I have a green egg lump coal.
It's not rocket science. You dump the pellets in, you turn it on.
That's it.
So basically what you're telling me is it's like Susie home baker oven grilling.
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
Pretty much, yes.
Yeah, step your game up. That's what Ben's saying.
Wait a minute. This is a guy who doesn't even know which end of the grill is up, right side up. Are you kidding me? You're going to chastise me?
Rob Ellis.
He's talking about me. He's talking about me. It's fair.
Ben, I understand. The one thing I'm kind of disappointed about, and I'm trying to keep an open mind, is people keep telling me you don't get the same smoke flavor like you do from a green egg or a true smoker. Is that true?
I would say that's true, yes.
Oh, man.
What's the advantage, Ben, of the Traeger then?
It's homemaker oven baking.
Yeah, I mean, I just think it's something you don't have to keep checking on all the time. Like when I put my favorite thing is a tri-tip. So I put the tri-tip on there, and you just leave it on there for, I don't know, 2 hours or whatever it is, whatever the recipe calls for, how big the piece is, and you just kind of let it go. It's not like I can go out and do other things and just not have to worry about it. It's whether if you're cooking on a regular grill, you got to flip it and make sure it's not, getting seared up too much.
That's why it's perfect for me. It's the lazy man's smoker, man. You know what I'm saying? Set it and bake it. You know?
But Ben's out there. Ben will text me, hey, D-Gun, I'm smoking a moose steak or an elk steak or something like. I'm like, what? Oh yeah, I got squirrel on the smoker tonight.
Oh. Man, like, is that what we come to now? We're squirreling?
No, I have never eaten squirrel at my house.
He's got a goose. He's got goose. He's got duck. I'm like, poor man's grilling here. I'm trying to buy chicken, man.
I cooked the geese for the dog. I cooked that for the dog.
You shot a goose and fed it to the dog.
The dog's living large, man.
Yeah. I mean, he's got to eat protein.
There you go.
Man. I can't take you two, man.
Man, you're the best, man. Gunner's got to get his act together. You know what I mean? That's all,
you'll figure it out. You'll be fine.
Hey, look, when I found out that you can control it from an app on your phone anywhere you are, and you can go out and I can control the temperature from an app, I'm like, I might get used to this.
That's what I'm saying. It's easy to use, and you don't have to be there all the time. That's why it's convenient for me because with 4 kids, we're running all over the place.
Oh yeah.
So you need if you have to go somewhere, just let it keep cooking, and you'll be fine.
Right.
Can you shut it off from the app also?
Yeah.
Mine's a little bit older, so I don't have that on mine.
Oh, okay. All right.
Mine you can. Like I was like I left and I went to work, and I'm sitting there like, oh man, I forgot to. I said, you know what? That's right. And boop. I turned it off.
Unbelievable.
Man, they have created ways for us to be lazier, haven't they? It's great.
How can we get any lazier?
It's amazing. We're grilling from our phones now.
If I would have called any of my kids or anybody to go take a look at it or turn it off or something, it'd have tore it all the way up. Yeah, it tore it all the way up, man. There'd have been a hinge ripped off of it or something brace ripped off of it. So I said, you know what? So I just turned it off right there. Boop, and I was good.
Let's let Ben get out of here. Ben, enjoy San Diego.
Appreciate you, bro.
Thanks so much, guys. I appreciate it.
Go surfing in Mission Beach.
Have fun. Yeah. That's so I told you guys this story. So Maggie jumps in, asks Rob about the gas grill we got as a housewarming gift. So the two of us, and this one wasn't just me, but the two of us poured charcoal into the thing.
I hear you, Maggie.
The funniest thing ever.
I mean, it was bad, dude. That was almost like the time I singed like an eyebrow the one time trying to. Why isn't this starting? Boom! And it was like, oh, what the heck? I'm like, what does that smell? It's my eyebrows.
Did you not see on the box it said gas grill? Did you not see that?
I obviously did not see that.
He put charcoal in the gas grill. That is the best story ever.
That is the best.
Did you put lighter fluid in there too?
Correct.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't.
Yeah, that happened. That happened.
So wait, did you have a propane tank under it too?
Possibly, yes.
Oh my, bro, you trying to kill yourself, man?
Man,
what
you could have
caused. I know.
That could have been an atom bomb, dude.
It's bad, dude. It's bad. Now she's like, poor guy. Now she's giving me this. She was there.
No.
I'll take responsibility for like 99% of these things, these mishaps in the house. She was alongside for that one. That's all I'm saying, man. I'm just saying.
Dude, that's unbelievable.
It's believable with me. It's believable.
But but here's the thing though.
Yeah.
So you put gasoline on a coal in a gas grill, right?
Here's what I think happened. I think somebody bought it for us for like a housewarming, and the propane was already, they attached it. It was on the grill. And maybe I didn't notice the propane tank. That's possible.
Okay.
Maggie, hold on. Maggie said we almost blew up the neighborhood.
It's true.
Dude, here's the thing.
We had neighbors that were literally scared. Like, I think it might be time for us to go somewhere.
But once you realize that it's a gas grill, not a charcoal grill, you've already poured that lighter fluid in there. So therefore, you cannot use that grill until you thoroughly clean that baby inside because there's still lighter fluid residue in there.
Yeah. I think we destroyed the grill. I think it was done. I think it was a one and done. And it wasn't even a one. We didn't even get a meal out. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
That is the
I've
greatest.
gotten better. I mean, that was my height of just being a moron. I mean, I got to be honest with you. Like that was right there. Yeah. All right. Let me further embarrass myself more when we come back. So we will we'll dive into a bunch of other stuff that we will get to as well. A little more hoops, some other stuff. Tell you where Colin Gillespie ended up. We got a game 5 of the NHL Stanley Cup tonight. Colorado can ice it as well. So we'll talk about all that stuff when we get back. Barrett Brooks, Derek Gunn, Rob Ellis, Sports Take, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network.
Action News at 11 with Rick Williams. It's the team you trust to bring it all together. The stories that impact your community. A sports roundup for the locals. And the AccuWeather forecast you depend on. Action News at 11 with Rick Williams.
All right, did you know I was the mommy slam dunk champion?
Really?
Yes, really don't sound so surprised.
Let's see it.
Oh, you're ready. All right, here we go. Let's hear the crowd. So go to right, I go to left, fake 'em out. Mama go up,
She did it.
Again?
You can't avoid gravity, but United Healthcare can help you avoid financial surprises by helping you compare costs and doctor quality ratings. United Healthcare.
Uh-huh.
Field of life, First Trust Bank is there for you.
Champions on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Because Philadelphia dreams deserve a Philadelphia bank.
Go for the midnight dares. Go for the game. Go for the hits. Go for the fans. Go for the win. Go to Ocean Casino Resort. Book your trip at theoceanac.com.
Going strong into the final segment of the show. Sports Take, Derek Gunn, Barrett Brooks, Rob Ellis. What are you laughing at, Gunner? I see you with that mischievous look on your face.
Now the wife is trying to cover for him. Sorry, Rob, just trying to keep your listeners entertained.
No, listen, he's not lying. I mean, nothing she said was untrue, okay? But I'm just telling you, she was alongside, so let's not let her off the hook on this one. Most of the time, we'll let her off the hook.
So was this like early in your marriage when this happened? Okay.
It was like,
so we might not ever have met a Rob Ellis. There was a possibility.
Yes.
Maggie already had insurance on you.
Yeah, like I think that none and done. That's what it was almost. Yes, it's true, man. It's true. I'm a mess. I mean,
I've never heard anything like that in my life. That's the funniest thing ever. He put lighter fluid in a gas grill.
Yes. Oh, God. I know. It's sad. I look back at some of the stuff I did and that I still do, but especially that I did, and I'm like, what in God's name was going on? What was going through your head? Obviously not much.
We at breakfast on Broad's 4 o'clock in the morning, and I come in and Rob's like this, I'm like, what is going on? Oh, you only want to ask now, B.
Yeah, something I destroyed in the house or something. There's always something with me. It's not easy. Let me just put it to you.
He said I couldn't call my plumber at 4 o'clock in the morning. I got to wait till we get off the show. I'm like, dude, what did you do, man, before you left, man?
Yeah, man.
You ever have one of these friends that just does some of the dumbest things ever, and you sitting there wondering, man, you're lucky to be alive today.
Yes.
I had this one friend named DJ, and he was a great football player, basketball player in high school. And his dad was the principal. Mom had a great job, but he would do some of the dumbest things. So one day I'm at his house. He decides he's going to have fun with lighter fluid.
Oh.
So he takes lighter fluid and he pours it in one of those big metal, those aluminum trash cans that we all had, right?
My God.
And then he takes like these little army soldiers. He wants to see how quick they can melt. So he lights it up. He lights it up to see how quick those. Remember the plastic army?
Yeah.
The
You used
pack
to
of
get them as a kid.
30 of them.
Yeah.
In the back. So he wants to see how quickly those would melt. Then he puts 2 or 3 other different things in there to see how quickly they would melt. So he's smart enough to realize, well, I got to get this can cleaned out before my dad gets home. So he takes the water hose and washes it out. And we're thinking all the residues out of it. And this is why I started talking about lighter fluid residue. So then he wanted to say he put paper in there. He was going to burn up paper. Oh, so the dummy puts his face in there and lights it. All you hear is whoosh. And you see him brushing his eyebrows like this. The dude had no more eyebrows for like 2 weeks. And he's about my complexion. Because you imagine a guy, my complexion with no eyebrows. Dude, it was the funniest thing ever. And I'm standing there going like this.
Oh my God.
You would have thought my initial reaction would have been grab the hose, hit him with water, hit the can with water.
No, you're laughing.
I was in shock. I was like,
yeah. Well, what's funny? Like I'm afraid of like fireworks. Like I am not a thrill seeker, as you could probably tell, right? Like I'm not looking for these things to happen. They just somehow happen to me, man. You know what I mean? Like I am not out there.
Me neither, bro. Like I tell you, I don't do roller coasters. I don't do anything like that, bro. I try to stay, kind of streamlined. Like I ride motorcycles. I don't go fast. I don't speed. I don't do any of that, man. I'm just not like you. I'm not a thrill seeker. Yeah. I've done enough in my life.
I've done dumb things, but nothing to that degree. I mean, what I would consider dumb that I've done is minuscule compared to some of my friends. And I'm thinking, I hung out with these knuckleheads, man. Yeah, man. What was I thinking?
I just saw a post that said, you want to know where you're going to be in 5 years? Look at the friends you hang out with.
That's great. That's a good one.
Very true.
So look what I got 5 years to look forward to.
What you trying to say, man?
Yeah, well, that's a good point. You're in big trouble, dude.
5 years ago, I was hanging out with you too, and
let me lay it out for you. You're screwed. Okay.
No, like it or not, look, 5 years ago, these are the guys I was hanging out with, and look at me now.
True.
Yeah, man. Oh,
I will go on record and say that I am the most calm, reserved friend that you have, Mr.
There's no way, man. No, there's no way, man.
You're lying now.
Low-key person in your whole Rolodex.
Oh my God, man.
Bro, I mean, he made a scene one time. We at the Super Bowl, we drove. We drove out. They got this thing.
What was that? How long was that? Like 12 hours?
No, over 2 days. We spent the night in Chicago.
Yeah, it was 12. I was 12 hours to get to Chicago.
Okay.
And then we spent the night there. So we go to this restaurant, a steakhouse, a nice steakhouse.
Mike Dicker's
place. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
But I didn't want steak. I wanted the chicken.
He
makes a scene in front of everybody. We're at this steakhouse. This is called Mike Dicker's Steakhouse. What does this fool get? He gets chicken. Everybody looking like, I'm looking at everybody like, man, come on, man. What are you doing, man? Why would he get chicken? Do you get chicken from a steak? No. I mean, I'm like, come on, man.
No, if I'd known he wanted chicken, I would have taken his butt down the street to Popeyes. Go to a high-end steakhouse, and you're gonna get chicken.
Oh my God.
And then we finally get to Minnesota. And the only thing I can look for, man, I'm trying to find White Castle. So we went like 30 minutes out of the way.
Dude, he doesn't get just 1 or 2 burgers. He gets like a family pack of like 8 to 12.
Right.
So I'm thinking he's going to eat all these nasty burgers all the way from, I think we were in St. Paul. We were in St. Paul.
Yep.
Getting to Minneapolis. Okay. So I'm thinking he's going to eat all 8 of them before we get to the hotel. He takes them to his room and has them next day eating putting them in a microwave in his room to eat these things. Now they're already gross when you take them out of the restaurant.
Well, hold on, he ate. Look, he ate. He got like a 4-pack. He ate one and gave the rest to me.
I did. I bought a 4-pack. I said, okay. Now I had not had White Castle since I was like 18, 19 years old. I said maybe they've changed in taste. Yeah. I bit Rob. I didn't even eat the whole burger. I threw one half in the trash. Gave him the other 3. Said here. So technically, he had about 12 burgers. Okay, the dude ate them all in less than 24 hours.
Oh.
See what I'm saying?
Oh my goodness!
Got his money's worth.
Hey, look, that's like taking Drano to unclog a pipe. That's basically what you're doing. Can you imagine that pipe cleaning?
Hey, speaking of that, I told you guys this. I think I was so disappointed in In-N-Out Burger when I went to LA. I was so bummed out. It stunk.
Yeah,
it stunk.
Yeah.
The burger stunk. The fries stunk. I was so disappointed, man.
Did you get an animal style? You got to get it with the burger, the cheese, the sauce on it. You didn't get that?
I didn't go animal style, no. But I got.
You don't know what you're doing then. See, you didn't know what you were doing.
I mean, first of all, it was so much like the drive-through line. It was in Venice. The drive-through line was all the way out of the shopping center into the main street. So we go in, and it was forever inside too.
Yep.
Finally, we got it, and I'm like, "This is what I've been hearing about, and waiting for all these years."
Yep.
It stunk. I was bummed. I was really.
You're never allowed to have an In-N-Out burger again. Every time I go to the West Coast, I can't wait to get an In-N-Out burger.
I had one, man. I was actually doing a ESPN game, and I was with Matt Millen. Yeah. So Matt Millen gets there like 4 hours before I did. So he goes straight to Arizona, to the University of Arizona, and I got to meet him there. So I stopped when I get off the plane. I called and say, "What's going on, man?" He said, "Man, they got we're supposed to eat here, man, but all they got is salad and stuff like that. I don't want this."
Yeah.
Hey, he said, "Why don't you stop by that In-N-Out burger before you get there?" So I'm cool. Okay, I'm going. So I get two triple cheeseburgers, meals, and like you said, with everything on it. I got 2 of those.
Right.
And I get to the place, I get to the University of Arizona. And I ate one, and as I'm eating, I'm like, this ain't really that good.
No.
Oh, it's not. So I'm eating mine. I'm like half-ass eating. I'm eating it as I'm watching film. We're watching film on, they're about to play the University of Oregon. So I'm watching film as I'm eating it. And I'm about halfway through my burger. I was like, man, this isn't that good at all. And I looked over at Matt. Matt said, "Oh, it's not." He had done both. He had ate both of his and grabbed my second one and, and ate the third one.
Yeah, he approved. Yeah.
I don't really know how you can fairly critique any burger, Mr. Brooks, when you put White Castle at the top of your burger list. Bro, I don't get it.
White Castle got me drafted, man. I love it, man. It's just the
got
taste,
you
man.
Drunk.
The taste is just unbelievable, man.
It doesn't even taste like meat.
It does, man. It does. And then you got the bread, and I like the way the bread softens. You know what I'm saying, with the meat, man. That's to me. That's
you one of these guys who, and I know I got it now. I figured it out. You one of these dudes that went to White Castle when you were in college because you had the munchies.
Yes, sir. Well, man, I just love White. And I tell you, and then I'll tell you what. Also, St. Louis has the best Chinese food ever, man. It's the best.
Good barbecue too, right?
Yep, good barbecue and great Chinese food, man. They have this thing they call it St. Paul sandwiches, and it's nothing but it's like an egg sandwich, but it's made. It's fried. It's almost like what's it? Egg foo young. You ever had egg foo young? An egg foo young patty. You take the egg foo young, you put it on bread with lettuce and tomatoes on it and mayonnaise on it. And that's exactly what it's just egg foo young, whatever. You get shrimp, pork, whatever, and they put it in a sandwich, man. And it's unbelievable. Okay. Unbelievable.
All right, interesting. Yeah, I see a lot of people in the comment section that the animal burger is the way to go, or animal style.
There you go.
I got you. I hear you. But I'm just telling you, like the quality of the burger stunk, and the fries were like shoelaces, man.
Yes, they're real thin. Yes.
Yeah.
They're nasty also. Yeah.
And the burger patties are real thin, but it's not just the burger. It's what the accompany it with, the sauce, and everything else. Now I don't eat pickles or nothing. It's fun. I like to eat pickles by themselves.
On the side. I'm with you.
I cannot have a burger on my sandwich. Cannot be on my sandwich in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah,
can't do it.
I'm with you. I like it on the side. I don't hate it with the burger, but I prefer it on the side if I'm having that. All right, I want to squeeze this in. So Colin Gillespie, Villanova player, phenomenal career. Signs a two-way deal with the Nuggets. Didn't get drafted, so he'll. I think he'll make that team. I think he'll be one of those guys who sticks. He's just that kind of competitor. So
they all do that though. They all do that. They all do that.
They always underestimate the Nova dudes like Jalen Brunson, who went in the second round. All of a sudden now he's going to make
Archie
Diacono.
Archie Diacono, all those playing guys for years.
No question about that. Kemba Walker gets traded to the Pistons, where the Pistons are expected to buy him out. So we'll see where he ends up. At this point, that knee doesn't seem to be able to get healthy. I don't know what the game plan is there.
No.
For him. As I mentioned, we got NHL tonight, Game 5. Avalanche can put them away if they beat the Lightning tonight back in Colorado. I think Joey B was on earlier. He's going to the game. He lives out there in Denver, so have fun, Joey B. Looks like it could be a blast out there especially if they could close it out. And then Bencaro goes first over Jabari Smith last night, which was a bit of an upset up until maybe like the last 15 minutes before the first pick was made. It looked like it was going to be Smith, but it ends up being Bencaro goes to Orlando and Smith goes to Houston, and Chet Holmgren goes right in the middle to Oklahoma City. So all in all, pretty boring. I don't know about you guys. Like it was
very underwhelming,
anticlimactic. The whole draft was no juice.
Everything leading up to the draft was
I know. Yeah, it wasn't. I fell asleep like midway through the second round, probably around there. It's right around the Phillies were in. I don't know what time it was, probably 12-ish, but it was, it didn't really move the needle much last night, that entire draft. No. That's for sure.
Hey, before when we had the pre-show meeting, we were talking about possibly doing significant events on this day, June 24th in history. So I did this whole list and it was like, wow, I did not know this.
Yeah, give us a few.
Did you know that in 1901, Pablo Picasso opened his first exhibit in Paris at the age of 18 years old?
What? I didn't know that. 18, he opened an exhibit.
18 years old. In 1969, the movies Love Bug and True Grit were released.
Some biggies.
Two great movies,
Yeah, some biggies.
2006, Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man's Chest premiered at Disneyland's resort in Anaheim. The budget was $225 million. It grossed $1.066 million.
Jeez.
Now, here's one that really caught my eye. In 2010, did you know the longest tennis match in history took place at Wimbledon? Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
It was between American John Isner and a Frenchman named Nicolas Mahur. It took 11 hours and 5 minutes over 3 days.
Yeah, over 3 daes. Yeah, because Wimbledon's got the different, the tiebreakers and whatnot. Yeah, it's one of the. I started off, guys. I was on the air that night, and it was like 3 shifts later. I was on when it ended on radio. Like, I'm not kidding you.
The first day was suspended because of light fading.
Yeah.
The second day, the same thing. The second day, they reached the 59th game, and it's suspended. When the match was over, the final set alone took 8 hours, 11 minutes.
Here's that'll never happen again.
No, they've changed the rules since then.
Yep.
But Eisner won the match in 5 sets. Get this: 6-4, 3-6, 6-7, 7-6, 70-68.
Oh my God.
That was the final set.
The stamina that you need to have to be able to just hang that long. I don't care who won, who lost. That's
I'd have dropped the racket. Hey, you can have the match. You can have.
What else? You got anything else? We're gonna sneak it in real quick.
That was it. Over 100 aces were served in that match.
Oh my God, that is unbelievable. Wow.
Whoa. Each one served over 100 aces.
Damn.
Each one.
Each one served over 100 aces.
Each one served over 100 aces.
Never happened.
Crazy.
Incredible.
It'll never happen again.
All right, fellas, listen. Have a fun weekend. Okay, our producer Tone did a great job. Tone DeShields, excellent job out of Tone as always when he
Tone
for Xander.
Xander
might get wild, man. You never know. Xander could be in trouble. Tone
get a wallet tip. Okay, all right.
You never know. Thanks to everybody for hanging with us, for streaming, for listening. Everybody in the comment section, have a great weekend. We appreciate you, Derek Barrett. Don't go anywhere. National Football Show with Dan Cilio is coming up. It's been a lot of fun this week. We'll be back Monday at the same time. Enjoy your weekends, everybody. Be safe. We'll talk to you soon. We are Sports Take.
Yeah.
Go for the midnight dares. Go for the game. Go for the hits. Go for the fans. Go for the win. Go to Ocean Casino Resort. Book your trip at theoceanac.com.